What's up, you diehards, you degenerates, you lovers of defensive football? This is Josh Raymer, and we are back with another episode of the Big 3 IDP Podcast, and I'm joined in the Sode Shack and in StreamYard tonight by Adam Markham, Bobby Reynolds, and joining us remotely, it's Dr. Leezus. Lee, what's up, man?
How's it going, boys? Sad I'm not in the shack. It looks great, but I'm doing fine remote here.
I was going to say, we're going to get you down to the Sode Shack here very soon. Don't you worry about that.
Quick little drive. It wouldn't be bad.
Sir, keep you up in one of these bunk beds.
That's right. We got bunk beds on either side. Just pick whichever one you like.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I know. Some air mattresses up there. So we're...
Whoa, you have double bunk beds?
Double bunk beds. Oh, yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
That's
we
incredible.
do it. We do it right.
See those dual ladders? Them dual ladders?
No. Yeah, the dual ladders.
Bobby built
on both sides. Yeah. I'd like to take credit for it, but it was here when we bought the house. We just repurposed it for the Sode Shack. So it's blossomed. It's come a long way. We used to be like over in the corner over here up against the wall. No cameras, like hardly any lights. Like, yeah, we were just a couple, a few chumps.
Now look at us.
Yeah, I got fart noises going on. It's a beautiful thing. I'm moving the board over here, Bobby, just so you know, at some point.
You will not touch that
Can't
board,
let
Josh.
that board be near Adam.
I'm gonna
get another board. Just have
two boards. Yeah,
Sir,
just
there you go. I like
dueling fart
one
sounds.
on this side of me too.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I think I'm gonna need to program one up here too, so we got 3 of them.
Sure.
There you go.
You guys are just insane, but I love it, and I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm. Lee, we're excited to have you in tonight, man. We're going to be doing the NFC West preview. This is the second to last divisional preview that we're going to do. Monday, we're doing the NFC North with 6 guests. So stay tuned. We've got a stacked lineup of guests. Maybe we'll add you at the end of this episode. We can let the listeners in on who they can expect to hear on Monday's pod.
Stay tuned for that.
That's going to definitely be the most guests we've ever had on a pod before.
Yeah, it's going to be
it's going to be nuts.
We're going to give it a go.
That's right. But we're going to go out with a bang because we're going to finish up the divisional preview series on Monday. Then we're going to take a little break. Daddy's going on vacation with the family, but we'll be back the week after that, Thursday, the night of the NFL opening kickoff with the Chiefs and the Texans. We'll be doing the week 1 preview. Leezus, can you believe it? Football is right around the corner.
I'm fiending for it, man. Just not having the preseason is really taking a toll on me. I didn't realize how much I needed football. So the fact that it's right around the corner, it's got me itching.
Seriously, I think we all took it for granted a little bit.
Sure.
Now, I think just highlights, clips on Twitter, news, I don't know that we would have maybe watched. Maybe because sports have been kind of out of our lives this year because of the Rona, but
just more relevant hype pieces.
Yes,
instead of all these practice hype pieces.
The training camp fluff tends to get turned down a little bit once preseason starts.
Just because there's that crowd out there that just likes to, it's practice. They like to always.
Addy doesn't like that crowd, if you can't tell.
Not a fan of what's going on in Twitter right now.
Yeah, Twitter's. People are getting a little too antsy, I think. We need the season to start badly.
Right, yeah. A lot of people at each other's throats. We're not going to get into that stuff. We that ain't ever going to be us, boys.
No, it's not.
We got to do better. We got to do better as a community, come together as one. But seriously, everyone needs to chill out a little bit. There's just a lot of weirdness going on out there.
Just ELE, in the words of Jackie Moon. Everybody love everybody.
Yes, sir.
That's been our motto from day one, hasn't it, Bobby?
Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon,
That's
baby.
a good one.
Yes, sir. So tonight we have the NFC West preview. Before we get into that, Leezus, we made the announcement earlier this offseason, but you are going to be doing a very special pod for us on Saturday mornings. Why don't you take us through what that pod is going to look like now that we've got you back on the show?
Yeah, so we're just going to run through some key injuries, both offensive and defensive, get you ready for the week. You might have some questions on how long a guy might be out or what kind of productivity you could expect out of someone. So we'll just go through the key players that popped up on the injury report for the week and see what we can expect out of them.
Yeah, because we should mention this is not just like, oh, Lee's our buddy. We're going to give him a Saturday pod on our feed. You actually have medical experience. Let the listeners know, because God knows we can't articulate what exactly your job, medical experience is. So why don't you explain to the listeners?
Yeah, so I graduated with my biology degree, went into the medical field, studying to be a doctor right now. So I know a little bit more than the common folk here. I'll extrapolate on what I can, but been in patient care for a little over 2 years. My expertise has been orthopedics specifically, so I know a lot about the muscles and the bones around there, and I've done quite a bit of research, had a couple papers published in the orthopedic department. So got a pretty good noggin full of knowledge here. So we'll put some good use to it.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes,
Noggin full of knowledge.
I could feel the
Yeah,
insecurity bubbling up inside me, thinking about, I know I have bones and muscles and stuff, Addy, but that's about the extent
How do they
of it.
work?
Yeah, what's going on with them?
Mhm.
I never know. I never know what's going on. So we are very excited, Dr. Leezus. We know you're not a doctor yet. That's not going to stop us from calling you a doctor, so don't even try. You are always going to be Dr. Leezus to us. But yes, your pod will drop, late Saturday morning, early Saturday afternoon. You're going to be looking at all the injury reports, like you said, to get fantasy players prepared. Maybe they want to sub a guy out. Maybe they want to try to pick somebody up as an injury replacement, because these are the little advantages that are going to make a big difference for fantasy players this year. This kind of inside medical knowledge. Like if a guy's coming back from an injury, maybe you should wait till next week. That's what we're going to try to get into on the pod. We're very excited about it. We thank you, Leezus, for doing that pod for us, and we're very excited to have you as part of the Big Three family.
I'm happy to be part of the family.
And Leezus played football.
That's right.
Mhm.
We should mention that as well. Your
I did play
background as
football.
well is not just in the medical field, but also you played college football.
I got some experience, 4 years, Division 3, but that's where the hearts are. We loved it.
Mhm.
Played every minute of it. So you got a little bit of it. Played tight end, fullback, a little bit of a defensive end. So I got some experience everywhere. Know what I'm doing.
There you go. I would have loved to have seen like a Last Chance U with Dr. Leezus as like one of the main starring characters.
Those guys are nuts.
They are, man. They really are.
They
But I
tear
would
me apart. I went to a private liberal arts college. Could you imagine what I do down in some random JUCO Alabama school?
yeah, and like Mississippi or
goodness.
Kansas or Oakland, California. It'd be
I
a
would
whole
just get
nother
ripped
world for you,
up.
Leezus. It'd be a whole nother world. All right, boys. Well, let's get into it. We're excited to have the gang back together, along with Dr. Leezus joining us. Of course, Bobby, as we know, a Rams fan. Lee, you are also a Rams fan as well. So it only makes sense that you're here to help us with the NFC West preview. We're going to hit on the fantasy targets for all four teams in the division. And we'll Bobby, I know you mentioned this earlier. We'll zoom through the Rams.
Yeah.
We're not going to subject
I
you
don't
to
want to
that.
stop for a very long period of time.
We can go pretty quick on that one. But let's start, boys, in the desert in Arizona with the Cardinals. We're going to hit on the starting lineups, and then we'll hit the fantasy targets. So let's start with offense. You have Kyler Murray, quarterback, Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds at running back, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and Larry Fitzgerald at wide receiver, Max Williams and Dan Arnold at tight end. On defense, you have Corey Peters at defensive tackle, Jordan Phillips at defensive end, Devon Kennard and Chandler Jones at outside linebacker, Jordan Hicks, Isaiah Simmons, and Javondre Campbell at inside linebacker. Patrick Peterson, I think they just signed, yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Byron Murphy is the newest addition there at cornerback because Robert Alford tore his pec and is out for the season. And then at safety, you have Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson. So we'll get to the defense in a second, which, Addy, we've been talking up, I know, here on some recent shows about. I think you mentioned that the Cardinals may have had the best offseason of any team in the league, and specifically the additions they made on that defense. So we'll get to them in just a bit. But there's been some exciting developments on offense as well with the arrival of DeAndre Hopkins. But let's start with Kyler Murray. This is the QB3 for me right now in my mental quarterback rankings. Fun fact, when I was looking up Derek Carr's downfield passing acumen, Kyler Murray, actually the best deep passer on balls that traveled more than 20 yards down the field last year.
Wow.
Like a 62% completion percentage. So, Lee, we'll start with you. How are you valuing Kyler Murray this year?
So I've thought about this a lot. I think the addition of Nuke actually helps him a ton. You mentioned the deep ball. Nuke's everywhere. He can catch everything. I have him personally in the same tier as probably Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, right around there. Probably second, third tier, whatever you kind of view him. I think his running gives him a lot of advantages there. He can throw it wherever. Nuke catches everything, and of course, you've got old reliable back there, wide receiver 3, Larry Fitzgerald, who catches everything. So he's got targets coming out of the backfield. Kenyon Drake, if he's healthy, catching everything. So I think he's got a lot of targets, and that running ability really helps him. So I think right around the Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson tier is where I've got him.
Addy, is that where you've got him right now?
Yeah, same area. About Kenyon Drake, that boot.
Yeah, the walking boot. He's still in it, from what I can tell. Leezus, tell us if this is normal, because I don't believe Coach Cliff Kingsbury when he said that the walking boot was for normal nicks and bruises.
Yeah, the wording there might have been not the best, not ideal, but I think it's more or less precautionary. I read up they were helping Nuke out too. He had a little bit of soreness, so they were keeping them off the field. It's like you have your star players, right? You want to be pretty precautionary, especially with all the injuries happening around everywhere. I mean, look at the Browns. They had 2-3 star people go down once in that same practice. So what I've read up on, it seems pretty precautionary. Nicks and bruises was a little bit of a weird wording there, but it'll be easier to monitor once it gets closer. The boot, I don't think is that bad, really. If he were on crutches or something, that'd be awful. But I think more or less the boot's precautionary.
Yeah, it's just weird because I've had nicks and bruises. I think we all have. But the one time in my life I was in a walking boot is when I broke my leg. Mm-hmm. So it's just weird that you would have a walking boot on. And I know we've seen it in instances like you've seen guys coming out of the tunnel after a game with a walking boot on. They didn't break anything. Mm-hmm. It's just for that like stabilization and just to protect it, right? Right, Lee?
Yeah, and then a lot of them also has compression in there. So if he does have any sort of little bit of swelling from that, you'll be able to compress it up, get that swelling out. So it seems precautionary at this point.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm a little worried about that. That just seems weird to me. I don't like weirdness, especially with players I'm taking high in the second round, like where Kenyon Drake is going. But Bobby, I know you're excited. One of your favorites, Chase Edmonds, has been getting a ton of buzz with this Kenyon Drake news. Is it arrow up and Chase with Chase Edmonds in your mind?
I mean, you have to say yes. Even prior to the Kenyon Drake walking boot, he just there was kind of that talk all off season about we're going to get him the ball more. We're not going to be so much of like a bell cow team. We're going to use a couple people, and I think people are paying more attention to the Kyle Shanahan type of offense out in San Fran. I think fantasy could be a little bit frustrating this year from that perspective, where you think that Kenyon Drake might be the bell cow and Chase Edmonds is going to get 10 to 15 carries. But I mean, I'm an Edmonds fan. I know he got a little bit banged up after his 130-yard game. They didn't play a very good defense. I think it was against the Giants last year. But still, if you can run 130 yards against an NFL team, you're going to be all right.
You're doing pretty good.
That's enough for me.
Yeah. And it was pretty early on. I think it was week 7 or 8 maybe.
But wasn't that why they went and acquired Kenyon Drake?
Yeah.
That's right. Came in on that Thursday night game and just lit the world on fire, didn't he? Just got
3
off the plane.
touchdowns.
So, if that trade never happens, that, Edmonds
is the starter.
Finishes the year. There,
So things could have gone much different. It reminds me a little bit of the Miles Sanders situation where right before he gets nicked up, Deuce Staley, the running back coach, is like, yeah, he's going to be a workhorse. We're going to feed him the ball 20, 30 times a game. And then Miles is like, but watch me get injured right now, though. And kind of reminds me a little bit with Kenyon. You actually had a nice Freudian slip there. Kenyon Drake.
I love that.
Did it on purpose.
Dude, that's unbelievable.
For the listeners.
A little foreshadowing there. Do you know something, Bobby?
We have a break on Brody.
No, we don't have a break. Sorry, we have
brekes.
Well, yeah, like a
pump the brakes. That'd be good.
Oh, I thought he meant like a leg break sound, like a crack.
Do a lot of stuff. Yeah.
There's 8 sounds we can program onto this thing. So.
I will say one thing that I guess kind of worries me about Kenyon Drake. I guess if you're in haven't done your draft yet, I'm not taking Kenyon Drake where he's being taken right now.
Second round typically.
Well, I mean, even late first, you're seeing him kind of go around like the Nick Chubbs, the Josh Jacobs. I'm fading Drake probably more now, not so much because of the boot, but man, I love Chase Edmonds. He's a great have in Dynasty right now, I think.
I agree. But let's talk about the big addition. Somehow it's still, I think the Cardinals are just sitting there waiting for like the commissioner of the league to be like, wait a minute, this trade can't be allowed. You can't send David Johnson to Houston for DeAndre Hopkins. But that's what happened, boys. This actually went down, and now we have to think about DeAndre Hopkins in this Cardinals offense. And what's weird, maybe y'all have seen something different, but it seems like to me, everyone has been fading Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like, is it just because they think this like 30% target share is going to come down? Like the target share was enormous. I think it was 30+% in Houston, but isn't he on a better offense now? Don't we like the Cardinals offense a little better than what he had in Houston last year?
Yeah,
Am I crazy?
Well, I mean, the quarterback situation is kind of similar. You know, he had Watson. He's really good.
But who else was on that offense? Kenny
Well,
Stills and Kiki QT when he's on the field, and Will Fuller's pulled hamstrings
on the field.
right?
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, is that really good for? I mean, he's going to have Christian Kirk, who's good and healthy.
Mhm.
Larry Fitzgerald, who's a legend.
I just
going to just siphon 80 balls his way.
that is true, but I think the offense is going to score more. They're going to have more chances for touchdowns, and it helps to have wide receivers alongside you to not be the number one target, right?
But there's also that narrative that guys normally don't perform well that first year with a new team.
That is true. Lee, break the tie here. How are you viewing DeAndre Hopkins now that he's in Arizona?
I think I like the better offense. I think I like we mentioned, Kyler Murray was in that same tier. I think he can produce the same way Deshaun Watson does. Their defense seems stout, so they probably won't have to come back as much, try to fight. Honestly, I think I would see him about the same, if not maybe regress a little bit from last year, but I wouldn't shy away from him by any means.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to look at it is temper expectations a little bit, but I don't know. I think I'm actually going to look it up now because I'm curious. But Bobby,
Nuke was Mike on the Ballers fade.
Was he really
today? Which was really bizarre. I get it, but
and that's as a Cardinals fan too. So
and I get the whole first year narrative and everything as well. But it's freaking DeAndre Hopkins. Like, just watch some tape from him last year and watch him catch the ball. If you put it within like a 10-foot radius, like you're going to be fine.
It's like, yeah, I get he's not going to have a 30% target share.
Yeah.
But he'll have more opportunities.
Was it in 2018? He didn't have a single dropped catch.
Yes, that was correct. He had 0 drops in 2018.
He's not no spring chicken anymore either, though, boys.
I guess he's being valued appropriately. I should adjust. It seems like I'm probably thinking more about the rankings I've seen, which have him down around like wide receiver 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But he's being taken as wide receiver 5 right now, around the 206.
He's 28 years old.
28.
Good Lord, you old
Get
ass.
out of here.
Is he going to be able to get out of bed? You realize we're like 32 and 33. And
Yeah, and I feel terrible.
Man, I'm 23 and I still grunt when I bend down. This is ridiculous.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't do it, like sit without making some type of noise.
Yeah, I get out of breath bending over to tie my shoes. So that bodes well for my cardiovascular health.
Just make more and more noises as you get older.
That's right. More and
Do
more
stuff.
noises. So I was looking too. So yeah, Kenyon Drake is going around looks like around the 112 right now. So you're right, Bobo.
Wow.
Kind of that back of the
No
first
thanks.
round.
Mm-mm.
Way
Too
too rich. Bobby, I'm curious because we actually had, well, I'm not going to say a legitimate trade in the works, but I did float Christian Kirk to you in some trades this offseason, and you weren't really feeling it. So I'm a Kirk owner, so I'm biased. I have the endowment bias going on here, but as an objective fantasy football analyst, give me your take on Christian Kirk with Nuke in town now.
I think Kirk is probably a great buy right now, especially in Dynasty. You've got to think, well, I don't know. Even when I say this, I think it's ridiculous, but you've got to think Larry Fitzgerald is close to done. But he also could play another 4 or 5
Who knows,
years.
man? Let's see how this year goes.
I don't know. I guess my biggest worry with Kirk is just Andy Isabella. I really think Andy Isabella could be something. I think I don't know if we're going to talk about him tonight, but I've seen some talk about him possibly doing some punt and kick returns for this year instead of Pat P. Maybe.
Isabella.
Oh, Adam's just completely lost it already. But I don't know. I think Kirk is great, man. I think more people need to go out and get Kirk. We talk about tying ourselves to people like Patrick Mahomes. You look at, Dak Prescott's receivers. I think a bunch of the receivers that are being slept on right now are freaking Deshaun Watson's receivers, because he's going to make somebody something in Houston.
Somebody's going to have to catch the ball with Hopkins gone. It's just a matter of, do you trust the guy with the bad hammies? Do you trust the guy with the concussion issues? Or do you trust the guy that seems to be about 2 or 3 years washed up in Randall Cobb?
I think I like Randall Cobb. He's the cheapest of the
That's
group.
the thing. Just in that situation, just take the cheapest option, right?
I do like Will Fuller, though, a lot. He's going to be, good Lord. They say he's strong. They say he's looking good.
All right, guys. So we have a question from Periscope. I'm going to put it up here for us.
Ooh.
Danger Zone FF1 wants to know Christian Kirk or Sterling Shepard this
Good
year.
question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Christian Kirk because I like the Arizona offense better. Leezus, what about you? Which way are you going on that one?
Oh man, so I think I lean more Sterling Shepard. I think I like Daniel Jones back in the pocket. He can deliver. If Sterling can stay healthy, he should be the number one in that offense. And I'm going to take the number one over number two in the better offense in that one. So I think I like Sterling.
It's because you got Sterling in the last draft.
Don't do that.
That's
to me,
bias. That you can't give our
don't do
listeners
that to me,
incorrect information.
You just
Lee.
doxed Lee in a big spot.
Lee's
Bobby.
roster. Pull up Lee's roster.
I think I'm with Lee. I think I want Sterling Shepard as well.
All right.
Kirk has some dynasty appeal to me, but especially in redraft, I'm taking Shepard.
Addy?
Give me Kirk, the unknown. I like that. He could. This could be a potential cheat code offense.
It's true. And I have both DeAndre Hopkins and Kirk. That's part of the reason I've been shopping Kirk but I'm also happy to hold him if, God forbid, Hopkins gets hurt. I mean, he's being held out of practice right now. Kirk steps into a really nice role if Hopkins is not able to go.
I also think it should be noted too. I think I tweeted about this today, but Aaron Donald's basically doesn't have pads on, just standing around. It's essentially week 3, week 4 of the preseason. We're kind of shutting things down.
Have you been watching Hard Knocks with your boys?
I have been. I didn't watch last night, was it? I haven't watched the latest
2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Lee, have you been watching with it being your Rams as well?
I watched the highlights. I'm waiting until they all come out so I can binge watch it right before the season.
It's not great.
I think it's actually good.
Oh.
It's just there's not enough football, and I get it. It's a crazy year, but man, I think
I watched a little bit of it when they were previewing the Chargers and they went through the whole equipment process and all that, and I'm like, that's cool, but
it's 90% Chargers, 10% Rams at this point.
The last episode was probably 70% Rams.
I will say Anthony Lynn comes out and really looks like a dude that you would just I believe you, man. Let's
you'd run through a brick wall for Anthony Lynn.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Lay it down for you.
So Larry Fitz, you mentioned him earlier, Lee. It's pretty crazy that this Cardinals offense is going to have future Hall of Famer Larry Fitzgerald as the wide receiver 3 on his own team. That's pretty awesome.
he might even get voted in while he's still on the team.
That would be great. There's a few players you could just do that with. Just fast track them, skip the 5-year hold period. Let's just get him right in there.
He belongs.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's a complete no-brainer.
Through the quarantine, I went back and watched the All or Nothing from the 15, 16 Arizona Cardinals. And even then, he was old. And even still, I'm kind of like, Larry, just go away. Give somebody else an opportunity. And then you watch him play, and you're like, dang it, Larry's still good.
He's so good, dude.
Still good.
He's going to be great as a wide receiver 3.
Never forget that playoffs he had.
Holy cow.
That run.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was that first time he made it in.
Yep.
He didn't get to the end zone. Didn't he get stopped that run on the 3?
I think so.
And
I
then
think
they
he
did
was
that
down
little
short.
shovel pass to him.
Yeah.
I know this because I obviously just watched the season.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, Larry Fitz.
David Johnson looked good then, 2016.
Of course he did. That was 4 years ago.
Hey, David Johnson, he's going to be motivated. He's going to want to make this trade. Now he's seen. He knows the hate's been out there, that he's washed and all that stuff.
If you believe that in the power of a chip on an athlete's shoulder, there may be no chip bigger than what's on David Johnson's right now.
What is DJ, 26?
He's 29, I believe.
Yeah, DJ's old.
Gracious.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk defense here. And Addy, this is what we wanted to get to earlier because this defense, which was not good, let's put it that way, in 2019,
but had nice pieces.
for IDP, has added even more pieces that we love for IDP. We mentioned Jordan Phillips, Chandler Jones. Now, do you all Do you all think that his stats will come down now with so many more contributors there?
Chandler Jones?
Yeah.
Probably just because he was at 19 and a half.
I was going to say.
But I still see him being in that 15 plus range.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, that defense is going to be good. I mean, maybe they're not out there. I know last year, pretty sure that team was up there in snaps. Budo, I'm pretty positive, was the leading snap.
Yes. Budo was. That's right.
Okay. So yeah, that's likely not to repeat because I think the offense is going to be better. They're going to have more sustained drives, keep them off the field. But there's a lot of nice pieces around him now, bringing in, like you said, Jordan Phillips, Devondre Campbell, Isaiah Simmons, Buda Baker just got paid. He's another year experienced. Jordan Hicks is one of the better tacklers in the league. They have a good defense. So yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, I think they had the best offseason out of anybody. And it starts with that defense, really.
I would agree. So let's talk about some more of the pieces here. We mentioned Chandler Jones. Lee, Jordan Hicks, this was LB1 from 2019, played 100% of snaps for the Cardinals last year after previously being a guy that was historically injury prone. I'm guilty of it. I think a lot of IDP analysts are as well. Fading Jordan Hicks. I know I have him ranked down around linebacker 15, but the issue is I still have the injury concerns, right? It's like, was last year just a flash in the pan? There's also a really nice group of linebackers in front of him. I went back and looked today and I was like, I don't think I would put Jordan Hicks in front of any of these guys. So what's your take on Jordan Hicks right now? Where should he be valued amongst the linebackers after finishing as the LB1 last year?
So you mentioned he played 100% of snaps. I don't think you can necessarily expect anybody to come back and do that again, right? There's obviously going to be some regression there. With his past being pretty injury prone and then all of a sudden just not having anything last year, it's the same thing with the snap percentage. You can't just expect somebody, all right, 1 year in, he's not going to get hurt at all. Football's crazy. You can't predict anything. But that being said, I still think what he did on the field is repeatable to an extent. To say somebody's going to come back and repeat as the linebacker one is kind of crazy, but I think he's definitely got the potential to stay in that top tier, that tier one, the LB1. He's definitely got potential with everybody around him. I know you guys mentioned Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones, I think he's got the pass rushing ability that's keeping him alive there. It's not necessarily, I don't think, going to affect Jordan Hicks that much. I would say you probably keep Jordan Hicks probably in the top tier, that LB1 area.
Yeah, Bobby, has your outlook on Hicks changed at all now as we're getting closer to the season? Is he a guy that's rising for you? Is he staying about where you have him at the beginning of the summer? What's going on right now?
He's probably staying about the same, just because I'm glad you brought it up, Josh, but you forget he's got an injury-riddled past.
Yes.
So that's not something that all of a sudden 1 year he plays 100% of snaps and you're like, he's great now. He's good to go forever, So that kind of stuff can reappear. And I think that's probably a little bit of the reason why they took Isaiah Simmons. They have Devondre Campbell, which we'll get to, which was a great addition. The contract they got him on was really good. If you look at this healthy core of linebackers, it's a dangerous core if they're all out there and playing. But Jordan Hicks is really solid, but he's just a guy that's just like when you're drafting him higher than you should, it just gives you a little bit of pause.
Feels a little wrong.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous to have him as my LB1.
Yeah. And in his 5-year career, he's only played 16 games twice.
Yep.
So first year, 8 games, second year, 16 games, third year, 7 games, fourth year, 12 games, and then last year, 16 games.
There you go.
He's due for a 6 or 7 gamer.
I know. That's what sucks is like you want to believe in this guy because he put it all together last season and we saw what Hicks could be. But I think right now for me, I would love to have him as my LB2. I don't want him as my LB1 though.
I think that's kind of the norm though. In all the drafts that I've been in, which it's been a lot of sharks, I'll say that.
A lot of sharks?
Yes, sir.
It's like you're on the set of the movie Jaws over there, Eddie.
Yes, sir. But yeah, he's been going in that linebacker 12 to 15 range.
That seems about right. I've got him at LB 15. Let's talk about, before we get to the IDP Vampire, let's talk about a guy that we actually had you on the draft recap pod, Leezus, to talk about a lot of these defensive rookies. And of course, none shined brighter than Isaiah Simmons. Well, maybe Chase Young. It's, the Chase Young and Isaiah Simmons show from last year. But in terms of linebackers / safety / cornerback / Swiss Army knives, Isaiah Simmons for me. I'll give my take and then I want to hear yours. He is on the short list of players whose fantasy outlook is iffy, but damn, I just want him on my team so I can watch him play every week. Where are you coming down on the newest addition there to the defense in Arizona?
So I like Isaiah Simmons, of course, as a dynasty play. I think if you're redraft, you might want to kind of fade him a little bit just because he's got all those people in front of him. You can't necessarily expect him to come in and light it up like he did at Clemson year after year. So I'm in the same boat as you. I would love to have him on the team just so I can watch him when he's out there, but I'd be kind of scared to take him this year, to be honest.
Now, Bobby, this has been one of your babies. Mm-hmm. You haven't been able to get him in our main league yet because Mr. Nam Good, as we know, he's good.
You don't even have to include the word yet, really, because I don't know if there is going to be a yet.
Yeah, there is not. So, Isaiah Simmons, let's set aside your love for the man. Fantasy-wise, what are you expecting from Simmons this year?
I think he's going to be on the field more than we probably think he is right now. He's talented. I do wish that, I don't know, you can't say you wish a rookie was a little bit older and had played a little bit more, but to be with this group of players and for him to know a little bit more about NFL schemes and whatnot, it would be fun for him to play with these linebackers and these safeties because if you give him a couple of years under his belt, man, I think he's going to be all over the field in all different types of roles. I think he's going to be a better Corey Littleton the more I think about it. That's a great comparison for Lee. Lee's watched Corey Littleton play for the Rams for a couple of years, and I think Corey was good. A lot of times you saw him, in coverage, he was pretty good. He rushed the quarterback from time to time. He'd get a couple INTs. I think Simmons is a better Littleton. Now, I don't know IDP-wise if the production will be there, but I think that's a great thing, exactly what you said, Josh. As far as IDP goes, it's kind of like you're gritting your teeth and just hoping for the best, but as far as like actually watching him on TV, like, oh my gosh, man, watching him at Clemson last year, that dude can play. And it's kind of like, we talked a little bit, or y'all have talked a little bit about some of these linebackers, these rookie linebackers, and Joey on his pod talked about some of these Jacob Phillips and Patrick Queens and stuff. And, Patrick Queen didn't make the starting lineup his senior year. Some of those dudes are kind of like, they might produce, they might not. Isaiah Simmons is going to be really good NFL player.
That's right. Now, let's play this game here because I'm curious. Factor in where you can get these guys in drafts because I'm curious now with the addition of both Campbell and Simmons to go along with Hicks. Which of these three would you take in a draft? Let's say that we're in the midst of one right now. Shark City.
We've been in the midst of one.
We've been in the midst of Shark City for a while. It's winding down. Though. I think we're going to make it across the finish line.
I think so.
But let's say that you're taking one of these Arizona linebackers at around where they typically go in drafts. Which one are you most interested in, knowing the draft cost?
I think Isaiah Simmons.
You think so?
Yeah, just because.
Probably going second off the board of these three, I would say.
Yeah, I think Jordan Hicks is still going to go, like we mentioned, in that, linebacker 12 to 18 range. Simmons will go in that 20 to 30 range, but I just like his upside. If he is going to be really good at like rushing the passer and stuff, he's got potentially like 4 to 5 sack upside. I just envision him as being someone that's going to do a lot of stuff.
He's what we've kind of always wanted. We love the safeties that are down near the line of scrimmage that can then, break off and cover a wide receiver. I think Simmons is going to have the athleticism to do that.
What was his 40?
Oh, dang it. It was a 4.39
and he's 6'4".
Yeah.
Is he that tall?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I guess I didn't realize that.
The dude is an animal.
Holy cow.
You hit it right on the head. You ran a 4.39.
Hey.
Wow.
You dang right. I nailed that one on the head.
Paying close attention.
All right, so
6'4".
My answer to that one would be Devontae Campbell.
You think so?
Devontae Campbell is just an afterthought at this point.
That's true.
I mean, how much are we even seeing him? He might even still be in Shark City, to be honest with you.
He got picked up.
Okay, never mind. I take that back. But I mean, he's being super.
Can you look up what round he went in Shark City while we're
Sure.
sitting there talking about
Here's
him?
a thought. So the free safety right now listed for the Cardinals is Budda Baker. The strong safety is Jalen Thompson. What if they play Simmons at a little bit more of a safety role just to have him on the field this year?
I think that's a definite possibility. You know, they've got 2 other linebackers they can use. They've got Chandler Jones in there as kind of an outside linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
The other safety there is not great alongside Budda. I mean, can you imagine just letting those 2 guys kind of roam the field?
How can you be good with Budda? You know, Buddha's racking up about every other play getting a tackle.
Mr. 143 tackles.
Yeah. So where did you find Mr. the vampire in Shark City?
Not the value that you think he is. Round 17, Mr.
Round
Duchesne.
17. Wow. I would have thought like mid-20s.
Yeah, and this is super flex. I mean, that's Simmons went 16-9.
So
Campbell went 17-7. We'll see where Hicks went. Hicks went 10-8 to Mr. Tom Kislingberry.
Okay. That's interesting. So I don't know. That changes the equation a little bit for me.
Yeah, I'm going Simmons if that's the most accurate ADP.
If Campbell is, 1 round afterward, I'm definitely going Simmons.
You all right, Lee?
Simmons.
Swallow bug?
What? Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
We all right.
Love that hat, Lee.
It's lit.
Love that. Love your generation.
Love your
I got out of the shower and my hair was a little messy. I knew I was going on air, so I had to grab the girlfriend's hat.
There you go.
There you go. You're killing it for us on Twitch tonight, dude.
Hey, Pat Pete, I know you had a Pat Pete note from earlier this offseason and wanted to touch on him when we talked about the Cards.
Pat Pete, I mean, he's just, he's that aged cornerback. He once elite, not so much anymore, but a guy that's going to, I think, potentially get picked on a lot. That's going to be a team that, teams are going to be playing catch up likely against them a lot. So they'll be getting the corners will be getting tested. If you look at when he returned from his suspension last year, I mean, he really did well.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a pickup for you in cornerback leagues, I think.
Absolutely. Can we just take a minute? Because until we know where Simmons is, I agree. I think there's a chance he could be playing some safety, but let's just assume right now what the coaches have said is true. He's going to be playing linebacker. That doesn't change Budda Baker's outlook for me at all. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that our baby Budda got paid?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What a glorious day.
Very
Congratulations to Budda Baker, the whole Baker family.
Mm-hmm.
Just a great day.
Well deserved. 5'9". If he's even that, he may even be like 5'8".
Yeah.
But someone that everyone thought he was going to be too short to play safety. The dude's a baller.
Yeah,
absolutely. So a great question here. I'm going to throw it up on the screen again from our boy Danger Zone. If Hicks gets hurt, how high do you put Simmons on your linebacker list?
Jeez.
Like top 15.
Absolutely.
I think I just slot him right in where Hicks was, which is LB 15 for me.
I'd go higher.
You would?
I'd go higher.
You wouldn't be able to resist with Hicks out of the way.
Wow. Freaking LB1. Just give it to me.
Bobby's trading the farm for Simmons.
Yeah, he's like, here's Jonathan Taylor, and I'll just throw in CeeDee Lamb.
Honestly, Budda is the reason you have to kind of fade a couple of these LBs. Like, these LBs are great, but like Buddha's going to get his tackles. Gosh, that's a great question.
All right. It's time, Bobby. I'm sorry, Lee. We're going to get through this together, okay? Yeah, there goes Bobby out the door.
Break.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
He needs a smoke break. Well, we're going to lean on you two for the majority of this one being the Rams fans, because I know typically fans are homers. They kind of see the world with rose-colored glasses. But you all don't strike me as kind of the overly optimistic Rams fans. So I'm curious to get your take on a lot of these guys.
Josh, we had Jeff Fisher as a coach for like 8 years.
That you did, and it did not exactly go well. So let's hit the projected starters.
Hey, Jeff Fisher was a great drafter, though. I will say that. He drafted some really, really good players. Sorry, continue to your starting lineup.
Yeah, he just, what do they always celebrate? August 8th?
Oh, yeah, 8-8.
8-8. It's Jeff Fisher Day. So let's hit the starters, and then we'll hit the targets. Offense, Jared Goff. At quarterback, Darrell. Is it Darrell or Daryl? Is it Daryl?
I think it's Daryl.
Daryl
Yeah.
Henderson, Darrell, and
Nintendo.
Yeah, Darrell ages him about 20 years. He's got like a mustache. He looks like Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon with that
name. He just
name.
looks like an old dude too, to be honest. His
Yeah.
roster.
He does.
photo.
He does.
He looks
Cam
like an
Akers. Cam Akers. Well, hey, Sean McVay said that it's a four-person committee backfield, so you got to throw
Calm
John
down,
Kelly in
Sean.
there. You got to throw Malcolm Brown in there.
Yeah.
At wide receiver, you have Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds, and Van Jefferson. And at tight ends, you have Tyler Higbee and Gerald Everett. Defense, Michael Brockers at defensive end, Aaron Donald and Ashawn Robinson at defensive tackle, Leonard Floyd, Traven Howard, and Samson Ebukam. Ebukam?
You said it right the first time.
Ebukam.
Or Cam.
Ebukam. Jalen at linebacker, Jalen Ramsey, Troy Hill, David Long at cornerback, and John Johnson and Taylor Rapp at safety. Let's start on offense. Quarterback, Bobby, that photo, I still can't get over what they did to Jared Goff's legs. He looked like the Slenderman.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at Bobby's Twitter account if you want to see this picture I'm talking about. He legitimately looks to me like Manute Bol. I don't know if they put a filter on him that stretched him vertically, but it was very odd, Bobby.
Shout out Slenderman. He is real.
He talks to Adam every night in his bedroom.
Yeah, that picture has to be a bubble lens or something. Something's going on there. But that was their first little peek at SoFi Stadium, I guess. Isn't that what it's called?
SoFi Stadium looked beautiful. I
It
got to
does.
give you guys credit.
I will say I do kind of love the Raiders Stadium too. That all black with the black like seats and everything.
So I haven't seen inside their
Oh,
stadium yet.
man.
Is it nice?
Looks nasty.
All right.
But yeah, Jared Goff. Addy just purchased him in XFFL, kind of unknowingly. Did you expect maybe for some other people to bid?
Yeah, I thought people would bid, but hey, I'm okay with him.
Dude.
4 years for like $500K.
I think when I
That
saw
happens in auctions sometimes.
They're
Like,
gonna fling
oh, okay.
It's good offense.
when it went through, it was like $444,000 a year, and I was like, "Gosh, that is not enough for Jared Goff." Like, I mean, you know, you can love the player or not or whatever, but that offense, he's going to throw the ball a ton. Especially last year when that offensive line was so garb. Goff was throwing the ball 50 times a game.
They threw it more than any team in the NFL. Like
Yeah.
650 times or something.
Yeah, that dude's arm, he had to throw some ice on
I
that.
was going to say.
But Goff is being slept on too much this year as far as ADP. He's slipping way too far.
He's just one of those perfect options, you know, if you're going to wait on quarterback. I think
That's right.
you bundle up on someone like Goff and Cousins or
Mhm.
Goff and Bridgewater or Goff and Rivers. Love it.
Yeah,
I
Lee,
think-
what's your take on the QB there?
I think really what scares me the most is the offensive line. They relied heavily on the play action, which is where Jared Goff really thrived. You got Todd Gurley in his prime behind one of the better offensive lines from a few years ago when they made the Super Bowl run in 2018. They were throwing play action pass like it was nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once they started trailing from behind last year a lot, and Goff had to stand back in the pocket and throw, that's when the efficiency went down. So I think realistically, if you're going to wait at quarterback, Jared Goff's the one you want to pick back there. But you better hope that his play action pass and his O-line can hold up, because that's where you're going to get the most production out of him.
Let's talk about the running backs. Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers. It seems like Cam Akers is starting to pull away as the back to own there. Bobby, are you getting the same sense, kind of keeping up with the Rams camp?
Yeah, Cam Akers is going to come out as the clear better back. I think it kind of sucks that Hendo has got the hamstring or whatever it is right now. I will say, too, people are sleeping on Malcolm Brown too much.
Yeah.
The Rams are definitely going to give him his. Now, I don't know if that's going to be like last year where he just has these, basically drives that are, breaks for Todd Gurley. But Malcolm Brown had a lot of those weird drives that were just his, and then he had a lot of goal line carries and stuff last year too. So Cam Akers ran with a really bad line at Florida State and really still ran well. The NFL is different than the ACC, but Cam Akers he's going to be good.
Yeah, for as bad as that Rams line won't be
Yeah.
much different for Cam.
That's
He's
true.
used to running behind a Swiss cheese offensive line. Leezus of the four-headed monster, according to Sean McVay in the Rams backfield. Which of those guys are you most interested in? Is it Cam Akers?
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with Cam Akers. Honestly, I think towards the beginning of the year, you might see him rely heavily on Malcolm Brown to start out. He's the veteran. That's where they're going to go. He knows the offense. But as the season progresses, I really think Cam being the new guy coming in, he's really going to take hold of that offense, and I think he's going to pull away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was interesting. I did see one tweet from just randomly, you check Twitter sometimes and you just happen to see certain tweets at certain times. They were it was when the Rams had the scrimmage that's featured on the latest episode of Hard Knocks. And the person was asking a question and said, who takes the first handoff in the scrimmage, and it was Malcolm Brown.
Yeah.
So I think that may be indicative of what we might see. And if anybody's listening from the XFFL, Malcolm Brown is available for trade. So just
This is terrible. Josh is just using this for his own personal gain.
That's right.
So you got Malcolm Brown?
I got Malcolm Brown. Yeah, he's the throw-in in that trade.
I was interested.
Just a throw in.
Nah.
What's going on? Oh, okay.
He's
good.
What's his deal? 2 million, 4 million?
$4 million.
No pricey. Getting up
Upset.
there.
I got DeAndre Washington and Drake McKinnon.
That's right. He's riding high. Hey, you just traded away the one that is one with the knee brace.
Yeah, carry on.
Carry on.
Would you stop saying so much weird shit, dude?
Carry on's having a rough time right now mentally.
They're like, so the quote was like, so what can you teach DeAndre Swift since you've been here for 2 years? And Karen was like, I can't teach him anything.
Have you seen this guy?
I cannot move the way he moves. My knees can't bend the way his bend. That's I appreciate your honesty, Carry On. But dude, I mean, do you want to be there? Or is this it? What are we doing?
Are you just gonna ride off into the sunset like Boopy Miles?
You just there to pump up DeAndre now?
You talk about a running back that's being slept on right now. That's DeAndre Swift.
Oh my God.
League
Talking
winner
faded
potential.
way
Absolutely.
too hard.
Just put every rookie running back into the league winner potential category, except for Keyshawn Vaughn, who sucks.
Give us a yes or something from Brody. What we got?
Yes, only Lee can hear it, but it's beautiful, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
A little drawn out, but
Yes. So let's talk about these wide receivers. So I went and looked because both of these Rams wide receivers finished very high last year. But and maybe this is just wide receivers in general are typically less consistent. Maybe finding someone that consistently finishes inside the top 24 is rare.
Mhm.
But both of these Rams wide receivers, so Robert Woods had 8 of his 15 games outside of the top 24. 5 of those were outside the top 36. So 5 weeks, if you were counting on him in your starting wide receiver spots, he probably hurt you. So Cooper Kupp, 9 of 16 games outside the top 24, 6 of those outside the top 36. So I would love both of these guys in my flex, but not necessarily as one of my 2 starting wide receivers. But unfortunately, that's tough because Robert Woods, wide receiver 17 right now. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 15 in ADP. So if you're taking these guys, Bobby, you're taking them as one of your starters. Are you comfortable with either of these guys as one of your, let's say, 2 starting wide receivers?
100%. The reason being, give credit to Addy. I think it was last Sode. Y'all talked about the Rams and you grabbing Tyler Higbee in our recent draft. Here's the reason why you don't do this. It's because Adam said it right. The Rams function the best when they are in 3 receiver sets. They went to 12 personnel last year out of necessity because they couldn't protect Jared Goff and they couldn't help Todd Gurley. I don't even know what was wrong really with Gurley, but they just couldn't find any running lanes for him. So I don't know. We'll get into another guy here too, but so as Josh has down here, but you have it wrong. It's Bob Forrest, not Bobby Trees.
It's Bobby Trees for me.
I would love to be like at the turn somewhere and be able to grab Woods and Kupp. Like, let's just say you're on the turn of like the end of the, I don't know, 3rd or 4th, 5th round, somewhere in there. If you could grab both of those guys as like your 1 and 2, that's lightning.
So you're fine grabbing both these guys for your
100%,
squad.
100%. You look at Goff, you look at how many times he throws the ball. I don't think that's gonna stop anytime soon. Man, but that's not where my excitement lies.
We'll get to your excitement here in just a second. Lee, are you feeling the same way as Bobo here? You're fine having either of these guys as your starting wide receivers?
I don't know if I'd select both of them at the turn, to be honest. That's a little scary. I don't know if I'd select any 2 receivers from any team to have them as my starters. It's just more of a preference thing for me, but I think I'd be comfortable having them as my starters. With any receiver, you're going to have those games really where you don't have the production there, but we've seen 2-3 years now where Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods have really just thrived, honestly. And I don't think their ADP is up there for just no reason. They're going to have production, so I would definitely be confident in having either one of those as starters.
Was it last year that Kupp was a wide receiver 4?
It was last year, yeah.
Goodness gracious, y'all. And he had a pretty bad stretch, down towards the end of the season. Not a bad stretch, but not near as crazy as Tyler Higbee's was.
He started off very hot.
One of the things that helped that was that like high 30s, 40-point game against the Bengals when they went overseas. That was ridiculous. He had like 220 yards.
Yeah.
That he just catch. That was nuts.
Dude, he finished super. So it's week 10 on 18, 15.7, 30.2, 25.7, 5.7, 20.3, 20.6.
That was Cup or Woods?
That was Woods.
Yeah, I was going to
Woods
say.
did. Okay. Because I thought it was Cup that finished the season kind of on a low note.
Let's see. I think we had this conversation. I think he was more solid than we remember. So here we go. Okay. True. So his first half, yes, he was having some like 34.6, 26.9, 26.7, 35 points against Cincinnati. But then these last weeks, so starting week 11, 7.8, 11, week 12, 18.5 week 13, 14.5 week 14, 16.10 week 15, 12.1 week 16, and 22.9 week 17.
Solid week.
Solid.
Yeah.
But definitely not reaching that.
Setting the world on fire the first few games there. So real quick, I want both the Rams fans to answer so we can get to this next guy. Josh Reynolds, any interest at all? Bobby?
Early in the season, yes.
Lee?
I agree with Bobby. I think it's a Malcolm Brown situation, even though Josh Reynolds hasn't been there quite as long. He's still the veteran. He's probably going to get those looks, but I think Van Jefferson's probably the more talented receiver.
That's the guy I want to talk about. I saw someone on Twitter, can't remember who it was. Sorry, I can't give you credit. Call Van Jefferson this year's Terry McLaurin, a polished wide receiver who is going to be a better NFL player than a college player. Bobby, is this speaking your love language right now?
I mean, I can't buy Van Jefferson high enough, especially in Dynasty right now. You look at, I think I tweeted this a couple weeks ago too, but Robert Woods is only a year older than Cooper Kupp. And, if you look at contracts and you look at the situation that the Rams are in, it probably makes more sense to move on from Cooper Kupp and to keep Robert Woods because I think you've got Van Jefferson just waiting in the wings. And you think about this too, but think about last year's ADP on Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Brandon Cooks. They were all like so close together. I think you could draft Van Jefferson this year almost like a Brandon Cooks. Don't do that. I'm not saying that's the ADP where he needs to be at, but I think at the end of the year, you could look up and like his production could maybe mimic something of like a Brandon Cooks. The dude is really talented. I've seen a bunch of stuff out this week where him and Jalen Ramsey have been one-on-one. I think Ramsey's intercepted the ball a couple times, but Van Jefferson's had some nice end zone play. He's had some nice toe taps, running great routes. So, man, I got just plenty to say about Van Jefferson.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp making about $2.3 million this year, due for a new contract. He's going to be expiring after this year, so
they don't have much money.
They have $4 million in cap space right now, and the cap is probably going down at least, I don't know, 5 to 10 million with the coronavirus.
Van Jefferson already 24, so you're right. He does have that Terry McLaurin in him where he should be ready to go now. But yeah, I've been impressed with him too. All the stuff I've seen.
How fun is that too? That you get to compete against Jalen Ramsey like all camp, like that helps a ton.
Got to make you better.
Honestly, Jalen Ramsey, players. Just listening to him. Jalen Ramsey, just in general, is one of my favorite players. I love watching highlights. I love watching him trash talk all the players. He's just fun to watch.
Basically, Hard Knocks is just him shopping for houses.
It's him shopping for houses, walking out of Zoom interviews because he gets mad at the reporters.
Yeah.
Leezus, was there a lot of iron sharpens iron talk when you were a college football player?
Sir.
No.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I should have been your coach.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's why you're not as disciplined as you should be, because you didn't have me in your life to mentor you.
Wow. A lot of pent-up anger there.
I'm sorry about that. I lost control of the situation. I saw just black. I apologize for that.
When he was a defensive end for the University of Miami back in their, the U days, Adam was just constantly saying iron sharpens iron.
I love to mold young men. That's my thing.
We're going to just clip that off and play it at Adam's trial when he's convicted of some heinous crime against humanity. So let's talk about these tight ends before we get into more trouble here. As Bobby mentioned, acquired Tyler Higbee as my tight end one in our main league. Tight end like 8 to 12 range is where I think I see him ending up. just because, God, there's so many great. It's like linebacker. Tight end is stupid deep this year. There's a lot of guys that have like top 8, top 6 upside because we know the top 4 if these guys stay healthy. But Higbee in that high passing volume offense, I think that comes down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But heck, even if you come down a little bit, you are still number 1 far and away most passing in the NFL. So, somewhere in the tight end 8 to 12 range, Addy.
Love Higbee. I think, I think the way he ended the year, I think it was real.
Yep.
It's just when have you ever seen that? Like, it was such a historic pace. Leezus, do you think people are fading what Higbee did at the end of last season a little too much?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's definitely what they're going to start to move forward to this coming season. The one thing I'm kind of concerned about is people love to talk about draft capital or like ADP, I guess. They took Gerald Everett in the 2nd round?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Sean McVay's first ever draft pick.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious to see if they'll try to put Gerald Everett in more of those situations. I don't think they'll do that quite as much. I think you're still safe with Higbee right around that 8 to 12 range. But I'm just more or less curious on if they stick with those 2 tight end sets, to be honest.
Hey, we all remember our first draft pick, don't we?
I actually do. My first ever fantasy draft pick.
No, rookie.
Oh, rookie pick?
Yeah, I got mine. Derrick Henry.
No, you should know yours because you rigged the draft.
He did.
Oh, that's right. I took
101.
Ezekiel Elliott at the 101
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
2016.
conveniently got the first overall pick in the rookie draft our first year of the XFFL. You didn't know that, Leezus. You weren't in the league yet. But yeah, I know he done something to that.
Sounds like collusion.
I literally filmed the randomization, and I knew
He was acting odd though, the way he was doing it, like he had done. You can manipulate that stuff, Josh. Like he had done multiple takes. He wasn't acting himself. He was acting suspicious, and I know in his heart of hearts that he knows.
I actually put my name in there 400 times, so it was
Did
just
you say you filmed it? You
I
filmed it?
did. I still have the video.
Yeah, it's on
Take a
YouTube.
look at that video for
On
evidence.
YouTube, hey, he's acting off.
I'm like, hey guys, everything's normal. Why do you ask? It's fine. All right, fellas, let's get to the defense here. Not much to talk about. This might be one of the worst defenses in the NFL outside of like 2-3 guys. So Aaron Donald, I just want to point out as Bobby moves his Funko Pop to the front, as he should. If you watch that 3rd episode of Hard Knocks, and this is just the way they edited it, Aaron Donald had 5 sacks during the scrimmage that we saw on Hard Knocks. And that very well might not have been all of them. So he was absolutely dominant. At one point, it was really cool. Someone on the Rams team Donald was kneeling down right before the game. They're at SoFi. It's their first time seeing it. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And as they were looking around at the new stadium, someone told Aaron Donald, "You helped build this." I was like, that's true, man. I mean, already one of the most significant players in Rams history. Talk about Larry Fitzgerald locked and loaded for the Hall of Fame. I'd put Aaron Donald in there right now, tomorrow, if he were to retire. So I'm so excited for Aaron Donald. I know he has less help along the defensive line, but I'm just not going to doubt Aaron Donald, Bobby. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah. Even I noticed Addy's got AD pretty high in his redraft ranks.
Yes, sir. I think he's due for a bounce back. I think he's due for. I think everyone's a little down on him. That's when I expect Aaron Donald to come out and remind us who he is.
Mm-hmm. I think they had said today, or maybe yesterday, in one of their scrimmages, he had 5 sacks that they could count.
Yeah, and let's remember, we talk about grown ass men all the time. What's he getting into?
He's getting there. He's entering the start of the grown ass man.
I don't think his athleticism has slowed down at all, but I think the mental is going to be levels and levels and levels. You know, the more he plays.
Lee, give us a doctoral take on AD with his shirt off. I mean, what do I got to do to get to that level?
I don't think there's anything you can do. That man's just built different. He's got different genetics. That's just a freak of nature, dude. He's what, 6 foot, 280, 290 with a 6-pack.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be possible.
You don't want to call him a gym rat, but he does kind of have those, like, he's always got some type of like nutrition shirt on. He's always probably throwing some supplements back, which is great. I mean, hey, I'm all for that, but Hey, those
That's
pecs, baby.
Time in, man. He's put the time in to get where he.
Them pecs ain't natural.
That's what he said on the show. Was they're like, man, what you doing? Because he keeps taking his shirt off. Like he's kind of
Shoot,
owning
why
it.
would
There's
you
no
not?
way.
He knows.
I'd
The
go to
Hard
work
Knocks
like
camera
that.
crew's like, take it off, take it off, and he's like, fine. And they're like, what you been doing? He's like, man, I just worked out all off season.
Hey, first in, last out.
Unlike that Chargers running
Oh my
back.
god, that was the funniest thing. We were talking about that last
What you
episode.
been doing, boy? I've
Just-
been in my hotel
Just
room.
in my hotel room, coach. It's like, Lee, your coach asked you, Lee, why are you coming into camp 30 pounds overweight? What have you been doing? What are you going to say?
Okay, buenos.
Not hanging out in my hotel room. That's a fact.
Like, coach, I had the COVID. I was in the hospital.
There's a
You make something up. You don't,
Qdoba
yeah,
next
you don't
door.
just say I was in my hotel room. Very, very bad excuse. So the only two other guys here, Bobby, I'm really interested in. We know Aaron Donald's amazing. That's not a news flash here.
Mhm.
John Johnson and Taylor Rapp. It's kind of interesting, right? Because Johnson was out last year. Taylor Rapp really popped in his absence. But with Johnson coming back, how are you looking at these two safeties, Bobo?
Dude, JJ, and I don't even want to say this really because I know I just moved him to Lee, so it's kind of bitter. But JJ's contract worries me a little bit with the Rams. But dude, JJ could go crazy this year. That dude could be a top 3 safety in the NFL because you look and see at what he did behind, Corey Littleton and a little bit of help last year. Last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, sorry. But you unleash a guy who has no linebackers in front of him. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's like I have in my notes here, like that group that was in front of him 2 years ago included Corey Littleton. Corey Littleton's gone. So if JJ was eating in 2018, he's going to be at the buffet, Addy, in 2020.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I love that too, Josh.
Golden
Ponderosa.
Corral. So there's a great
Hometown
moment.
Buffett. Remember that place, boys? That's Bowling Green. That's Bowling Green-esque right there.
That was at the mall, right?
Yeah.
Hometown Buffet.
Hometown Buffett.
So there's a
Wow,
great moment from when Allie and I were first dating. We went to Florida.
Well, we don't want to know about this.
It's our first ever vacation, right? And I'm with my grandparents. We're at their condo in Florida. Allie's one of those types. I get it. When you're in Florida, you eat the local places, you eat the seafood, you
Sure.
want to be like authentic.
Oh,
And she's like, oh, I'm so excited to hear where we're going to eat tonight with your whole family. And we get in the car and I'm like, Papa, where are we going to? And he's like, Golden Corral. And she has never let me forget that.
That's a good papaw.
It is. We ate good, I will say.
hey.
This was pre-Rona, so you could still go to a
Sure.
buffet.
Yeah, it's
Um,
probably not gonna last through,
I don't think so.
once we get out of this situation.
I don't think so.
Golden Corral.
So Lee, Taylor Rapp, John Johnson, you obviously just acquired John Johnson. What's your outlook now for both of these Rams safety with JJ back in the picture?
Now, I think my biggest are they going to play both safeties? Are they both going to be on the field at the same time? Is that how it's going to be?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Like we mentioned before, I don't think with the linebacker core in front of them, there's no reason they both can't produce. I think John Johnson's going to be up there at the top, at least top 5. That's not just me saying that because Bobby so graciously traded him to me. I think he's definitely going to be able to produce. There's nobody up front to be able to stop those runs. If somebody gets by Aaron Donald, I mean, they have no names there. Micah Kaiser gets hurt. I really don't even know any other names there besides the rookie they drafted in the 3rd round, I believe, Terrell Lewis.
Mhm.
John Johnson's going to eat. I think Taylor Rapp has just enormous potential. If JJ's contract situation doesn't really pan out the way Rams fans wanted to, I think Taylor Rapp definitely has the potential to stand up. That dude's just a ball hawk. He's got a knack for the ball. But for this year, I think if you drafted or acquired Taylor Rapp, I think you can still start him, to be honest. But I think you should put John Johnson near the top.
Yep, that's my take as well. Bobby,
Taylor Rapp does have a knee sleeve on right now, which is a
Ooh.
little worrisome.
Is it
So
drip?
just keep an eye on that. It's not drip.
is it
Not drip.
medical or is it drip related?
No, it's medical related, Lee. You should know the difference.
No.
May just be trying to get on Adam's big board.
Sir.
Please.
So
What'd you do? Did you have visor in college?
Oh, let's see. I had a yellow tinted visor, which is sweet because we were red and white, so the yellow tint looks sweet.
Heck yeah.
I had some forearm shivers. I had long socks with the tights, and then I threw on some gloves.
Ooh,
So it
Nice.
was dirty. It was dirty.
Lee was dripped out. He may be in contention for 101 of Division 3 fantasy.
we need to. I want to see you. I want to see the full ensemble.
Yeah.
I got you. I'll send you a picture.
Yes, we need to get a picture out
I
there.
think it'll do well for your brand too.
Yeah, maybe just throw that out there as your
Hey, this guy actually knows football.
as the Drip King. That's right.
Yeah,
Dr. Leezus, Drip King.
yeah, he actually lives the drip life.
That's right.
Mhm.
He was on the
A
field.
lot of people get hung up on that stuff. Oh, you never played football. You don't know what you're. Leezus did.
He
Mhm.
did. Hey, I played in 8th grade, so I did have at least 1 year of football experience.
Adam's been in the combine.
I was running back.
That's
I was the
right.
fastest kid in 8th grade. Yeah, I was the fastest kid
Kramer,
before I broke my leg, and then it all went downhill from there. Yeah,
He wasn't cut out for it.
Yeah.
Luckily, unfortunately for him, he never ran into me to
Was
motivate.
it a full story? Like, did you just run over a dude, or did you just step wrong?
No, it wasn't even in football. It was in baseball. I was playing. Like Babe Ruth baseball the summer before my 9th grade year. I was 14 years old, and we had a 17-year-old in the league for some reason. Kid was like smoking cigarettes and driving a motorcycle to games.
Yeah.
And we were running for a fly ball, and for some reason he was in left field, I was in center field. I jumped up to catch it, and he slid underneath me because he was going for the ball too. We didn't hear each other, and he undercut me, so I flipped up in the air. And I don't know if it was when he undercut me it broke the leg, or when I came down it broke the leg. But he slid it on my right side, and it broke the outside bone on my left leg. So I don't know how that happens.
Fibula.
Is it the fibula, Leezus?
That's a big ass bone, right?
I broke my fibula. I've got a big rod in mine from playing football.
Or wait,
in
femur
college.
is femur
That's
the biggest
right.
one?
Yeah, femurs in your thigh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So you
one's
have
awful.
is it the fibula and the tibia in your lower leg?
Correct.
The
Okay.
tibia is on the inside.
Is whatever one's on the outside, that's the one I broke.
Yeah.
So that was
Hey.
the same after that.
Tell him about the time you got hit in the face with a baseball.
Oh yeah, so that was during high school baseball. I was throwing in the batting cage. I was on the team. I ran bases. I was known as White Lightning. I was more just there for like the yucks and the laughs and to avoid having to get a job.
Team chemistry.
Yeah, I was the glue guy. But I'm in the batting cage. I'm wanting to finish up because I want to go sit in my car and eat sunflower seeds.
I remember this.
Before the game. Yeah, Bobby, you were on the
Flavor?
team.
Flavored, or were you an original?
I was an original guy. So
Original.
the guy was like, no, one more, just one more. And so I was like, fine, whatever. So I threw it, and then I stepped out from behind the L screen, and that
Oh.
ball skimmed right off the L part of the L screen and popped me right in the mouth. And I just remember our friend Justin Basham yelling, check your teeth. And so I have my hands in my mouth checking my teeth. They were all there, but I
A lot of
busted.
blood.
I pushed my lip through my teeth, so I had a big like chunk taken out of my bottom lip, and had to go to the hospital, get stitches.
We had to look at him all that week with
It was
those big
awful.
old lips. He couldn't hardly talk.
Yeah,
I
it
was like, oh man, I wanted to punch him across his face.
Yes, Adam is a horrible monster. He doesn't like when you look any different because it scares him a little bit.
Didn't like the way he was talking with it.
Yeah. So thanks for bringing that up, Addie. Appreciate that. So Rams fans, is this the worst linebacker group in the league?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
There's no doubt.
think it's really close right now. I don't know what that defense is bad,
Did
man.
y'all talk about your boy, Traven Howard?
No, pay attention to him. Pay attention to Troy Reader too, maybe.
Get you? Get your reader?
Get you a reader. Get you a West Coast reader.
It's your West Coast reader.
But I don't know. I'm not a Micah Kaiser fan. I know he's a little injury prone too. But I see Lee here in I don't know, another league we're in. I don't remember which one it was, but you just picked up Burgess or Fuller. Which one?
Fuller.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I picked up
interesting.
Lewis. I picked
They've
up
got a-
Lewis.
They've got a couple good little safeties there as well. So I don't know. Somebody's going to produce there. I don't think it's Kaiser. I don't think it's Reader, but it could be Traven Howard, or it could be Terrell Lewis. Like, I don't think they're going to be so bad this year that they're going to probably run some rookies. So
They're gonna
yeah.
find out who it is this year.
yeah,
regardless.
it's gonna take some time, but pay attention to that waiver wire because somebody's going to they're going to play somebody out there. But yeah, that's enough of the Rams. Sucky
Enough
team.
of the Rams.
Feel bad for them. Hey Lee, let's do this. Over under 5 wins this year for the Rams.
Oh, I'll give him over.
Okay, over under 8 wins.
I say go 8-8.
Oh,
Man, that division's so good.
I was thinking about that.
Good.
We need to do that more. We need to predict what they finish.
What they
Oh,
finish.
I'm gonna go under on the 8.
So I see them probably last in this division. I really do.
I think so too.
It's I think the toughest division in football. I think 6 wins is about where I'd have them right now.
Yes, sir. 6-9. Love that.
Love that. That's not a record you can finish with. But
They didn't have bye week.
That's right. Dang.
yes, nice try though.
Well, they could be. One of these weeks gets canceled. Rona.
Rona. There
That's
you
what
go.
I'm going for.
And then we're just hoping every
Oh, you
team
got a
finishes
15
6 and
game
9.
It's not even close.
Yeah. We're not doing any better on the math side. This is
Just
why we
needed
don't
to
have a
get
math
to 6-9.
podcast.
Going backwards.
Make it work.
So yeah, the Rams I see as last. I think the Cardinals, 8-8 probably. I think the Seahawks and 49ers, I think they're going to be in the mix. But just realistically, or maybe is it the 49ers who are going to come down?
I
to
think
earth
they
a
may
little
take
bit?
a step back. I like the Cards. Let's say
You think Cards maybe 9-7 or 10-6?
I'm thinking Cards maybe 12-4. No, let's say
That's a little too rich.
Let's do one that add up. I think the Cards maybe 11-3.
You need to stop. I'm not letting you do any more math. I still think this division goes to the Seahawks. Do you guys realize since Russell Wilson took over as the starter, he's made the playoffs like every year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that insane?
Go.
Good.
Go hard.
I truly think those are the two teams.
Cardinals.
I think it's the Cardinals and the
Mr.
Seahawks.
Unlimited.
Yeah,
Mr.
God,
Unlimited.
Mr. Cringe is
But here's the thing. Everyone knows him as Mr. Unlimited now. So as cringy as it was, it totally worked.
sure, I guess.
What were you saying, Leezus?
Said he named his son Win. That man's a winner.
Oh wow,
That's even
Did you see that?
cringier. No,
He
I
named his
didn't.
son Win.
WIN.
I think it's 2 wins.
I think the Mr. Unlimited was just a Capital One ploy. He's just trying to help Sierra out.
Capital One.
There you go.
Unlimited. That was the oh god, it gave me hated it.
Somebody put this is what happens when Russell does cocaine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he'd be so annoying. He'd
Yeah.
be so annoying.
If he was
Like,
on
dude, get this
cocaine,
guy away from me. I don't care that you're Russell Wilson.
yeah, no more Russell Wilson.
Saying
No
a
more
lot of
cocaine.
weird stuff.
All right, San Francisco 49ers. Let's hit the starters. Then we'll hit the targets. Offense, Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert. I'm going to throw your baby Jerick McKinnon in there at running back. Debo Samuel. He'll be in there at some point. Brandon Ayuk, Kendrick Bourne, and Dante Pettis, your pink-haired baby, at wide receiver. George Kittle at tight end. On defense, Nick Bosa and Dee Ford at defensive end. Javon Kinlaw and Eric Armstead at defensive tackle. Quan Alexander, Fred Warner, and Dre Greenlaw at linebacker, Richard Sherman, Emmanuel Mosley, and K'Wan Williams at cornerback, and Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tart at safety. Jimmy G, do we see him as anything more than like a 2 QB super flex kind of second QB option?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's about where he is for me. Not going to probably have him.
Yeah, I'd rather take my shots elsewhere.
I like him in DFS though against this opening week.
Oh yeah.
Playing against the Cardinals. You look at last year, both games he lit them up.
So that's a nice little DF. Hey, speaking of which, we're working on your DF triple S cover right now behind the scenes, and that baby is a masterpiece. Wait till y'all see this thing.
Sir, we're coming.
That's right.
Here's a good one. Jimmy G or Derek Carr.
I would say Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr's weapons better.
Derek Carr.
God, neither.
Barf.
Jimmy G, I guess.
Huh.
You just like him because
Hey,
he's more handsome.
Although Jimmy G, like we'll get to, these receivers are banged up right now.
They are. That's what scares me a little bit.
I think I saw today they brought in some other guy, Kevin White.
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
White?
Remember him?
Yes.
Chicago Bears.
He's
thought-
there apparently.
I thought he was dead.
Shout out Lord Ratty.
What's the dude?
Don't shout out Lord Ratty.
Didn't he draft him like super high?
I think he did.
Tavon
yes.
Austin's there now.
Oh my god.
we have to do that. If we can throw a little bit of
Hey, I'm here for the Trent Taylor comeback, baby. Let's get to the receivers.
Let's do the running
After the
backs.
running backs.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, Addy, you don't get to make
Sorry.
any decisions or do any math.
Sorry.
Yeah, he is in San Francisco now. Tavon Austin. My God, he's still in the league. Okay, let's do a little game here. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time with these running backs. We know there's going to be value. We all want Jerick McKinnon to get his chance finally. Let's do keep, trade, cut with the 3 San Francisco running backs. Bobby, I'm going to start with you. Keep, trade, cut. Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, and Jerick McKinnon.
Keep. No, wait.
Back it up. You didn't even say anything. You don't have to.
Cut Tevin Coleman.
Ooh.
Keep. No. Cut Tevin Coleman. Trade Raheem Mostert.
Oh, wow.
Keep Jermichael Hasty.
Jermichael Hasty. No.
Here you go.
I
Jerick
thought
McKinnon.
I thought you were just going to go McKinnon to pander to Addy.
No, I really hope that McKinnon can figure it out. We've been wanting him to figure it out for a while now, but that's what I'll go with.
Yeah, so I guess, sorry, Addy, I'm going to cut McKinnon. I'm going to trade Coleman and keep Mostert. I think it's going to be Mostert. The reports out of camp is that Raheem Mostert has been the best player on the field for the offense.
Yeah, you're going to pay that, 5th, 6th round price for Mr. Mostert, are you, Josh?
This is a hypothetical keep, trade, cut, Mr. 6 and 9.
Interesting.
I'm going to keep McKinnon. I'm going to love McKinnon. I'm going to marry McKinnon. Is that right, Addy?
Yes, sir. That was my answer.
What do you say, Lee?
Oh, I think it's a cut for McKinnon. I love that boy, but you just can't trust it. Cut McKinnon. I'm gonna keep Coleman. I'm gonna trade Mostert.
Interesting. Probably a little higher trade value for Mostert right now.
Oh, for sure. I think so.
I'm expecting McKinnon to catch like 5 to 6 balls a game.
Are you just saying that kind of like the
I'm predicting to catch 6 to 9 balls a game.
I really need him to. Him and DeAndre Washington need to be RB1 and 2 for me to succeed.
Sounds like
this
a
year.
dream that you're like talking about.
I know. Addy's just
listen. It's
drinking
time.
the Kool-Aid.
This is they hung on to him for a reason. We all want to see it.
It comes out week 1 and both ACLs just pop.
Snap.
Hey, but seriously, this is the year of the Rona. It is time for Jet. It makes sense. This is his year.
We keep saying it's the year of the Rona. There's one person on the Rona list right now. I don't know that Rona is going to be as big a deal as what we think.
No, I just mean how it's just a weird year. If it's not going to happen in the Rona year, when's it ever going to happen?
Don't put that kind of juju on 2021. We need
and remember, McKinnon, one of the most pristine athletic profiles of all time.
It's true. Go look at it up on Player Profiler.
Take a look. Ooh, it's so nice.
But seriously, pay attention to Hasty and even Jeff Wilson. They're going to have some weeks where they probably get some carries too.
I like Hasty.
I don't want any of these guys, honestly.
There's value there, but God, for fantasy, it's really tough to decipher.
It's like the New England backfield right now.
That's right. So Deebo Samuel, he's wide receiver 37 right now. I think it's proof to me that we as fantasy players place too much value on the start of the season. Look down the road a little bit. How is Deebo? Where's he going to be weeks 10 through 13 when he's back and fully healthy? Going to be better than wide receiver 37.
Sure, be Natty's lineup.
That's right.
Sir.
Just go back and watch some of those jet streaks and some of those plays later in the season for Deebo, and that'll get you fired up on him again. That dude can play.
Lee, he's so good. Are you taking your shot here? We got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kendrick Bourne. We'll talk about, I'm going to leave Dante Pettis, the pink-haired baby, just for Adam. So those first 3 guys, are you taking a shot on any of them in your leagues right now, Lee?
I think Deebo still. What I've read is that he'll be back hopefully within the first few games. I would be willing to take the risk for the reward right there. I think Deebo's a hell of a player. He's got a ton of productivity. He'll be basically the only guy there because Ayuk's a little banged up too, is what it's been reported. But I think I'd take my chance on Deebo.
Bobby, any interest in a wide receiver not named Deebo in San Francisco?
Nah, not so much. I'd rather shoot my shots elsewhere.
All right, Dante Pettis, it's time, Addy. Just hit us with your take. I know he's been getting some buzz. I will say that.
Hey, he apparently had a rocky relationship with Kyle Shanahan. He didn't understand the tough love that Kyle was giving him. And apparently they're on the same page now. They have a good relationship. Dante Pettis has been stringing together some good practices. I think I saw where he had maybe a step back in one of the most recent ones, but he's been looking good. And then they say he's been looking especially good as their deep threat on that team. So we'll see. It's enough for me to jump back in.
Oh gosh.
His squad by the end of the season is going to be Dante Pettis, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, DeAndre Washington, and Jarrett McKinnon.
We're not going to have any room for them, Josh. Let's be honest. We are loaded, baby.
It's the year of the Rona, Addy. It's only going to be those guys.
Ayuk, very interesting. Very, very interested in him. I think that by all the reports, he is very ready to contribute, but he's also dealing with some injury stuff right now, right? The hamstring.
He's banged up. A lot of hammies right now. Leezus, what's going on with all these hamstring injuries?
I don't know. It's pretty easy to upset. I mean, these guys run super hard, so you're probably going to pull some at some point. I don't think it's anything too serious. It's probably just soreness because they don't have anybody there. They can't really afford to keep having everybody get hurt and sign your Kevin Whites or whoever they're signing. So I think it's precautionary. It's definitely decently easy to kind of tweak that hamstring a little bit. You run super hard, but I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now on Roto World. The Athletic raved on Monday. This was from the 25th. That Ayuk has been as good as advertised, but he has a mild hamstring strain right now. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, they're so banged up that, I mean, truly, like these Kendrick Bournes, Trent Taylor, who is the receiver version of McKinnon, the guy that just has not been able to stay healthy, but Jimmy G loves him, could truly, like if he gets the playing time out there, could catch 80 balls.
Sucks for Jalen Hurd too. I was excited to see him this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
It's a bummer, man. Really sucks.
They just got a bunch of fun receivers that, sometimes they suck, but you're always just optimistic about them.
Yeah.
Always optimistic. But if Dante Pettis had regular hair, Addy wouldn't give a rip about him.
Keep it pink, Dante.
We know George Kittle just got paid along with Travis Kelce, so let's go around the room. Leezus, I'm going to start with you as our guest. Dynasty League, you taking Kittle or Kelce as your tight end one?
I think I'm taking Kittle.
All right.
Yep.
Kittle, is it just because of the age?
Not only the age, if you think about it, he's really kind of the only weapon outside of maybe Mostert or Coleman in that offense. I don't really know who else Jimmy G would kind of target in that situation. So I think his production and the age factors into it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think just overall he's got the better. I don't know if it's a better role necessarily. I think Casey's got the better offense, but I'd still go Kittle.
All right, Kittle. Bobby, what about you?
Double down. Love that, Lee.
All right. Addy, hit us with it.
What is it, Kittle versus Kelce?
Dynasty.
Yeah, it's Kittle for me as well.
All right. I guess I'm going to buck the trend here and go Kelce.
Taking the 30-year-old.
Yeah, just because I think he's one of these guys that's going to play late into his 30s, and I'll take the guy that's tethered to Mahomes.
Yeah, that's a good point. You forget about that.
Hey, let's not forget to wish Travis Kelce a happy birthday on October 5th. He'll be 31.
Maybe he'll catch 31 touchdown passes this season in that Chiefs offense too. Yeah. All right,
good one.
Thank you. I'm running out of steam here, having to deal with you. So it's one of them weeks. Daddy needs a vacation. Let's talk about the defense. Nick Bosa, just something to keep in mind. He is week to week with a muscle strain in his leg. Lee, is when you come up against these injury reports and you hear something like muscle strain in the leg, what the hell does that mean to you? How do you make sense of that?
It just means he kind of hurt his leg a little bit. There's a little soreness in that leg. I mean, they don't really give a whole lot of info. You're going to have to delve deep into it. Honestly, I haven't gotten a chance to read up on what this muscle strain could be. There's a whole lot of muscles in your leg that could be strained at that point. But I guess if that's all they're calling it, then it's probably more of a rest thing. A lot of these things seem like rest things just because, like we mentioned earlier, this would be like week 3 or 4 of the preseason. They don't want to keep these guys going just full speed all the time. They don't want to hurt them right before the season. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, the report I read said he is questionable for week 1. So just if you have Nick Bosa, I know a lot of us, probably have him in at least one league, maybe. Just be aware. Just be checking out the Saturday Injury Report podcast with Dr. Leezus before week 1 to make sure that Nick Bosa is going to be okay. Otherwise, we know what Nick Bosa is. He's amazing. The pressure's incredible. D Ford, Addy, give us your D Ford take.
D Ford, yeah. I mean, if you look on like a per snap basis, there was no one better last year as far as sacks go. Now, obviously, you can't just extrapolate that out and say, oh, he's going to have 40 sacks. Not going to work that way.
But it's the year of the Rona, Addy.
Sure,
we never know.
Hey, never know.
We are through the looking glass in 2020.
40s.
I mean, we're looking about 6 to 9 sacks a week for Mr. Ford.
Just going to keep milking that one, huh?
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
But no, I mean, we need D Ford to get like between 400 to 500 snaps. Then I think he'll be worth the price he is, which is like, defensive lineman 30 to 35. So he's cheap, nice upside. That line's going to actually need him now since they don't have DeForest Buckner. I don't think that team's going to be as good this year, boys.
I think so. I think they're going to come down, and it's narrative street. The Super Bowl hangover tends to hit the Super Bowl loser harder than the winner. So
They're just banged up to start.
they are,
Yeah.
man. They're so injured. This is not like a Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes type quarterback who can make magic out of nothing here.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're each going to talk about these next three players one at a time here. So I'm going to hit us with the Kinlaw take. Bobby, I want your Eric Armstead take. And then Lee, you're going to hit us with the Fred Warner take because there's a lot of Fred love at this table. So we need an outsider to give us an unbiased opinion. Javon Kinlaw, I'm not interested this year, but for 2021 and beyond, I'm intrigued. I picked him up in our RSO league. He signed to a 1-year deal. I'm going to see how things play out. He's obviously picked to be the Buckner replacement there. They traded into that spot, traded Buckner away, selected a defensive tackle. I'm not saying he's going to be Buckner, but I think that's what they took him to be in the future. So keep an eye out in dynasty leagues. Eric Armstead, Bobby, with Buckner gone, you have some concerns, I think.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Armstead guy. I think Buckner was a lot of the reason why Armstead had so many sacks and everything last year. And Buckner really had kind of a down year last year. So I'm not drafting Armstead as high as his ADP would suggest right now. So still talented, but exactly what you put. Grab him and then grab another D tackle because he might not pan out.
Yeah, so I've got Ed Oliver and Eric Armstead because I'm just not going all in on Armstead. Too much up in the air there with Buckner gone. Fred Warner, Lee, give us the unbiased, non-Big Three love for Fred Warner and his dad take on the linebacker there in San Francisco. How are you feeling about Fred this year?
I think I like Fred a lot. I think if you look at it realistically, they'll probably be playing from behind a little bit just because their offense, I don't think, will be able to really, really keep up a whole lot. So offenses will probably be running the ball. So if you think about it just from a linebacker perspective, they'll probably get a lot of chances, a lot of tackles. But I want to look at it just from the mixed martial arts perspective. Have you guys seen that man kick a punching bag at all?
So that was not Fred Warner, sadly.
Oh, was it not?
No. I think
Fred Warner.
the internet got catfished a little bit, Addy.
Yeah. Should have looked at the comments, Lee. That's the problem with your generation.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I thought he tweeted it.
I thought you said that you liked his generation.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes, not always.
Sports around here. No, but I think he's definitely a safe play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Addy, hit us with the Quan Alexander. Are we do we need to be doing the Quan this year? Are we going to bring it back?
Yes, Quan's going to be the guy. I don't think it's going to be Dre Greenlaw unless something happens to either Quan or Fred. So great price for Quan. Everyone, is scared to death because of the injury history, which it is. Yeah, it's something that's we should be concerned about. But the price now is it's a no-brainer for him.
Still very young, 26 years old.
I know he didn't have the year that he typically does when he's out there. But that stuff just comes and goes. That's kind of how IDP goes. Players have up and down years. I'm not going to be surprised if he's leading the team in tackles if he ends up, staying healthy the whole year.
I'd love to see where he went in Shark City. I think I got him there in one of our other leagues where he was just going late. I was like, why is Quan Alexander still here? He's still the starter alongside Fred Warner. Let's not forget this.
Right.
Go back and look at his Tampa Bay production, and it's like,
Yes.
Oh,
gosh.
wow. Yeah, Quan Alexander was a top 12 guy.
That was next to Levante David too. So,
Mhm.
I tweeted about this a month or so ago about how, I'm probably going to be fading Fred this year. I'm not going to have a lot of Fred in redraft. I've luckily got him in Dynasty already, but just the price is too high. He's going as a linebacker 12. If you look at how he played when Quan was out there, it's not what you want for drafting someone that high. He was averaging like 8 or 9 points a game with Quan. Without, he was averaging close to 18 points a game.
But I would say in Dynasty, don't sell Fred now. Fred was a great
Right.
sell last year, but now that we're probably Quan maybe towards the end of his San Francisco career.
We'll
if you
talk
look
about
at his
that.
past.
Yeah, here in just a sec.
But Fred now is just hold him. Just keep him. He's
Yeah.
not going to be maybe an LB. He probably going to be a solid LB2 for you this year. But when Quan's gone and it's just him and a more mature Dre Greenlaw, that could be one of the best LB combinations in the
Quan
Don't
and
draft
Dre-
him in 2020.
Yeah.
Is my suggestion.
Yes.
But he's an obvious hold. He's going to potentially be one of the best linebackers in the league.
I totally agree. He's 23 years old. Dre Greenlaw, 23 years old. Quan, 26. I took a flyer on Greenlaw in our main league for the post-Quan potential. Bobby, you mentioned it. The Quan era could be coming to an end after this year when the team can save $6 million against the salary cap that should be a lot lower than what it is this year in 2021. So I think depending on how Greenlaw does and Fred does, if Quan plays his brains out, they're not going to cut the guy, I don't think. But it's just something to be aware of. You always have to pay attention because that should inform your grade, Dre Greenlaw take. Maybe it's not 2020 because they let Quan play out this contract. Then they go and save $6 million when the cap gets sliced by $10 million. Something to pay attention to. So, Leezus, we're coming down the home stretch here. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I just looked it up. So where I got confused was Fred Warner tweeted, "Yes, this is me. Stop asking." So I saw that tweet and I was like, damn, Fred Warner out here kicking punching bags, man. That is solid. And then the next day, which I didn't see, he added the guy in the tweet and said, "Hey, this ain't me." So it was a little mix up on my part, but I got tricked by Fred Warner himself. So
that's true.
I'll take it.
Fred putting the confusing tweets out there, not helping matters.
Nothing.
And let's be honest, most people just glance at the headline and then take it as gospel from there on out.
Sounds like you need to sit through some fishing training.
No.
Like you do. I don't think
Do
you're
that
right. I'm
to me.
not sure you need to be on the internet if you don't know how to navigate it.
Maybe it was just a bad day.
It's just we all
A
have
little
off
tired.
days, man.
We're all a little tired.
I'm not willing to look past this.
Mr. 6 to 9 coming at me hard right now,
I
man.
know, dude. So let's
I love you. I'm just kidding with you.
Yeah,
You got
I know.
a good ass heart.
just an absolute train wreck here, like a train on fire coming into Seattle to talk about the Seahawks. We can zoom through these guys because the defense, fellas, you're going to see I've got 3 guys down as potential fantasy targets. So not much going on there with the Seattle defense. But let's talk about the starters. Russell Wilson at quarterback, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, if you want to throw him in there, and DJ Dallas at running back, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Phillip Dorsett at wide receiver, and Greg Olsen and Will Dissly at tight end. On defense, Rasheem Green and LJ Collier at defensive end, Jerron Reed and Poona Ford at defensive tackle, KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner at linebacker, Shaquille Griffin, Trey Flowers, and Quentin Dunbar at cornerback, and Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs at safety. Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson. Now, did you all see this where, because it's the whole let Russ cook movement on Twitter, kind of annoying. But Brian Schottenheimer said the plan is to let Russ cook. I'm hoping this happens because I want the whining to stop. I want fantasy and football Twitter to just stop it with the unleash Russ. But it would also be a lot of fun. I think if they do go pass happy, Russ is a nice dark horse MVP choice. If this actually does happen, because I think Russell Wilson unleashed Bobby would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is so intelligent too, especially from a running perspective. That dude knows how to get out of bounds. He knows how to get down. He doesn't take hard hits. He gets first down. He keeps the ball moving. Man, Russell Wilson isn't talked about enough, I don't think. Not necessarily the whole Mr. Unlimited thing, but that dude can play some football. He can drop the ball into Lockett and DK like the best of them.
Yeah, we just want to see him throw for 5,000 yards.
Just let it happen.
Yeah.
His max year was 42-19.
He can get there.
The more you think about it, too, it could be possible. We'll talk about him. Chris Carson and Rashad Penny are still not great, and DJ Dallas has got some nice hands. Travis Homer is not going to be a thing. So Mr. Unlimited could be a thing this year.
Yeah, CJ Prosise ain't walking through that door.
Marshawn Lynch ain't walking through that door. And them shoes is back up on the telephone wire.
I love that.
You do love that. So Lee, which of these three running backs? We have Rashad Penny on the pups. Let's set him aside. Chris Carson, DJ Dallas. How are you sorting these guys out for 2020?
Yeah, so I'm the Chris Carson owner. I'm a little partial to Chris Carson. I've liked Chris Carson since he came into the league. He's a hard runner. That being said, he does have some fumbling issues. That's really where it comes down to. I think realistically, early in the season, Chris Carson is going to have the load for it. He'll have the majority of the carries, but if he starts coming down with those butter hands again, them butterfingers, I think DJ Dallas can definitely step up into that role. And like you mentioned, he seems to have some pretty good hands too coming out of the backfield. Chris Carson's not necessarily known for his pass catching ability out of the backfield. We saw him almost drop that one touchdown in the end zone that was just straight to him. It was wide open, a little scary, but I think earlier in the year, you want to lean Chris Carson, but if things start to go downhill with them, those fumbling issues pop up, DJ Dallas is the one to have.
I think it means a lot, too, that Russ said his favorite rookie is DJ Dallas.
That's nice. We were talking about that on the last show. What you want to hear is your teammates praising you because they don't have an obligation like a coach does to prop you up. But if your teammates are giving love, especially to a rookie, Bobo, that's pretty significant.
Yeah. DJ Dallas could be where'd he come out of? Miami?
Miami.
Yeah.
Woo.
They passed the ball down there.
He is the back I want at the end of the season. Chris Carson, I agree with you, Lee. Beginning of the season, that's going to be his job.
Nah.
End of the season, it's going to be DJ Dallas.
Nah, fam. You just fumbled that take.
So, Leezus, someone that's been keeping up with Chris Carson, is he okay? Is he recovered from his hip injury he had last year?
I've seen him rolling around in training camp. He's running real hard. He's been getting in on actual downs and stuff. So as far as right now goes, with him not even on the pup, I think it's good. We're looking good for the start of the season.
I bet you're hoping he looks good for the start of the season.
Don't do that to me, Bobby. Don't scare me.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Wow. So I did not realize this. So he's missed a lot of practice, but he's missed a lot of practice. 9 of 11. Never forget. Due to multiple deaths in his family.
Wow.
Oh.
It was all personal. It doesn't look like anything related to health. I forgot they have Carlos Hyde there as well.
Oh yeah,
that's right. That was interesting. That seems more insurance. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get cut, to be honest.
Is he insurance or is he a starting running back?
Don't, Bob, stop.
Hey, Carlos Hyde in Houston, he got some carries last year.
These questions.
If you're looking for the Chris Carson hype, you're on the wrong podcast, brother.
I need it.
On the DJ train, baby.
What did Rashad Penny do? Was it an ACL, MCL?
Tore everything in his leg.
Throw a grenade in there.
Every ligament that you could have was just shredded.
Leezus, what's the worst possible? Let's set aside like paralysis or having his head ripped off. What's the worst possible injury that a running back could sustain?
I think realistically, probably an Achilles. I think Achilles are one of the ones that are just real downers for you. It's hard to get that explosiveness back, especially as a running back. Hard to get that speed. It's easily torn again. It's something that you really need to monitor and make sure that you rehab pretty effectively, pretty precisely, or else you could really have some problems with it. So probably the Achilles for me, I think, is the death there.
Yeah, Achilles is the grossest injury too, because the way it rolls up your leg like a fruit roll up, just makes me like want to puke.
Xavier McKinney?
Yes.
Yeah.
Broke his foot.
No, wait, no.
It was
Grant Delpit.
Grant Delpit had the Achilles.
Hate to see that, man.
It's awful. Now, Bobby, I'm going to let you take this next one because I know you're a big Tyler Lockett guy.
Mm-hmm.
If they unlock Russ, Tyler Lockett has serious top 12 upside, doesn't he?
Hey, unlock it.
Oh, God. Just walk out of the Sode Shack, Addy. That's your home. That's your grand slam. That was Addy's 3-0 grand slam right there. Bases loaded.
Wrap it up on that one.
Yep.
I love TL for this year. I hate that I don't own him anymore, but yeah, if Mr. Unlimited is a real thing, gosh, DK and Tyler could both be wide receiver ones, which is crazy to say, but
absolutely possible.
The amount of touchdowns to receptions that Lockett has in his career is just unfathomable. Russ loves Lockett. He knows where he's going to be at. Gosh, man,
I think they have one of the better connections in the league. If you look at the one pass that he had against the Rams in the corner of the end zone, Russ placed it perfect. Lockett made the perfect catch. It's just they seem to just really have that connection.
I was at that game. That was one of the most incredible catches I've ever seen. We everyone in the stadium was like, "Oh, he dropped it," and then they showed the replay, and it was almost unbelievable that he could fit that ball into that window.
It was wild.
Threaded that needle.
Yes,
Laddie.
sir. I was about to say that. I love when you said that.
You mailed it. You like to mail things to me.
Sure.
I can't read lips at all.
You knew what I said that one. There,
Yeah,
though,
you did like a little needle motion with your fingers. So I knew what you were
Needed to
doing.
drive that home.
So, Leezus, do you want Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf this year?
I want Lockett. I just think the rapport that they have, he's the big play explosive guy. DK's got the potential. Like Bobby just said, wide receiver ones for both of them. But I just like the big playability out of Lockett. He's just got too many touchdown to catch ratio, or too high of a touchdown to catch ratio to pass up for me.
Do we think he's still going to have the return work? I know that's something that always made Lockett really appealing. Is that
that's what's scary though, because he had the leg issues the end of last year. I haven't read up too much on kind of the special teams unit that they've been putting out, so I'm hoping so.
He doesn't need to have the special teams. He needs to stay out there on the offense. I'm never a big fan of that. I don't know.
I know.
Mecole Hardman. You look at Lockett. You look at some of these. I think Hendo maybe a little bit last year. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Put Kevin White out there.
I swear they had T.Y. Hilton back catching punts in Colts training camp.
Really?
It's like, guys, remember what happened to T.Y. last year?
Gosh.
Let's not put him in more situations where he could get hurt.
For whatever reason, it seems like you're more likely to get injured.
You're on the field more. It's just like,
sure.
I don't really want to talk about this next guy, but I know we have to because he's going to have fantasy relevance, which is ridiculous. And Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen, yeah.
Like, he's going to catch some balls.
He is.
And you're going to have to think about maybe rostering him at some point.
Absolutely.
So weird.
He should. I mean, is he going to be he'll be the starting tight end, right? With Disley probably being slowly.
Yeah, I think worked back in. I think they're going to lean on Greg Olsen as they bring Will Disley back along and kind of see where his health is. Because that ACL, Achilles, I mean, he had the poo-poo platter of terrible injuries. So they still have Tyler Lockett as the return guy on our lads. So now that that's take it as gospel.
Do you want DK or Lockett?
Lockett for me.
I think I'm gonna go DK here, man. I think DK just has that
freak ability.
Yes.
I was looking up his athletic profile. 6'3", 228 pounds, 99th percentile 40-yard dash, 4.33. 99th percentile speed score. 97th percentile burst score, 91st percentile catch radius.
It's incredible.
This is DK.
This is DK Metcalf.
Yeah. If you're buying into the narrative that they're going to let Russ fling it, this has got to be the guy that benefits the most from that.
Yeah, because Lockett's your downfield, 6 receptions, 120 yards for a touchdown. DK is your 10 receptions, 80 yards, and maybe 2 scores.
I just expect them to target him a lot more this year.
Yeah.
I agree. I think for me now, if they don't give Lockett the return work, that changes the equation a little bit for me because we're in return yardage leagues. So I like that little bonus there from Lockett. But if they take him off that, which they should, probably go DK.
Yeah. I think the whole thing I'm thinking about more is just maybe you think more about DJ Dallas. If Russ is saying he likes him, if they're wanting to let him throw the ball, you got 2 banged up running backs. Oh my gosh. You just got him in Shark City, like super late.
Yeah, he's one of those perfect ads towards the end of your draft.
Oh, yeah.
All these rookies are, though. Even I've noticed now Josh Kelly's getting the hype pieces out.
I saw that today, too.
It's all, truly, all these rookies we love.
Josh Kelly. Rookie running back season. Lee, who is your favorite rookie running back right now?
I can answer this for him. It's LaMichael Pirine out of the Jets. The one that's gotten the least amount of pub the whole offseason.
I think it's Jonathan Taylor. I like the downfield running scheme he's got. The Colts line is just hard to pass up. So easy to run behind. That man's gonna have 2,000 yards rushing at some point.
That's a big 3 approval right there. 3 thumbs up.
Let's
the
go.
Big 3 right there.
Let's go.
So the defense, like I said, guys, I mean, we can talk about some of these guys like Jerron Reed, defensive tackle required leagues, blah, blah, blah. LJ Collier, I've got him. I took him in the rookie draft 2 years ago. Maybe he's a thing. Who the hell knows? But there's 3 guys, KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams. I said in a crazy COVID year, I'm going to cling to B-Wags if I have them, like a life raft in a stormy sea. He's just safe. He's probably. Is there a safer player in IDP than Bobby Wagner? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
I think he is so locked in, so rock solid. KJ Wright, Addy, we talked a little bit about him. He was fine. He was actually pretty good last year. It's kind of an Anthony Walker, Darius Leonard type situation where he gets a little bit overshadowed. But that said, are you owning KJ Wright anywhere?
No.
I'm not owning him anywhere. Bobby, Leezus, do you have KJ Wright anywhere?
No, sir.
So, yeah, it's like one of those guys, kind of like the Jarvis Landry conundrum that I was coming up against is like, Landry's actually kind of underrated and pretty good for fantasy, but I just don't want him. And I don't really know why. Probably because he's playing next to Bobby Wagner. So let's talk about the big question mark here. Probably one of the biggest question marks in all of IDP is what do we think of Jamal Adams in Seattle? My question is, it's fair to expect a downturn in his numbers, right? Right?
I think so. I mean, he just has Bobby Wagner in front of him now. But they have, I mean, when they had good safety play there, like Chancellor and those thumper types, they use them a lot and they use them up near the line, kind of what Jamal thrives at doing. So yeah, I mean, I think Jamal Adams is still going to be, is he going to be number one? I don't know.
I don't think number one, there's a lot of good safeties that,
but I don't think he's going to drop out of like the top 5.
No.
So, I mean, he's still super safe. I love Jamal. I just think that with the newness, and everything that, maybe expect less this year. And then Bobby Wagner's getting up there in age.
He is.
Jamal's going to probably be the piece that sticks around the longest now.
Oh, for sure.
But what do you think, Bob?
I think that Jamal Adams might be their best pass rusher right now.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Yep.
So they're going to have to use him. And the other thing, too, I like about Jamal is they have good safeties behind him. I like Quandre Diggs. I was really hype on Marquise Blair this year.
Sure.
Somebody Adam's been hyping for a while until this whole trade happened. And then obviously, Bradley McDougall, you can think whatever you want to about, his role in the defense last year. But I don't know. I think maybe we're probably selling Jamal Adams a little bit too much right now. I think Adam's right in that, Chancellor role. I think that you could probably see a resurgence of Jamal Adams and just his excitement to be away from freaking Mr. B-Hole. What do they call him?
Mr. B-Hole.
Yeah, Mr.
Adam
B-Hole.
Gase and Greg Williams. I've coached a lot better safeties than you as he's bleaching his goatee. Here's the thing. Yeah. When in times of uncertainty,
He's just constantly,
just always
coloring it.
100% of the time he's awake. In times of uncertainty, look to what we know for certain. Jamal Adams has got to be happier to be away from New York, where things were just, that relationship was crumbling. So we know Jamal's happier. We know the Seahawks just gave up multiple first-round picks to get this guy. So they've invested a lot in Jamal Adams. We know they traded away Bradley McDougall. So it's not like Jamal Adams is coming into a really crowded room. It's basically a swap. And so, yeah, I think it's fair to scale him back a little bit, maybe take him off the top of the mountain, but I'm not taking him out of the top 5.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
And I think we're all pretty open to him returning right back there.
Oh yeah. Let's just see
after this year.
Yeah. Let's see if,
or even this year. I mean,
first couple games, he's got like 3 sacks and,
then
forced fumble. We're like, okay,
He's
yeah,
fine.
Jamal's back. He's just fine.
Yeah. Also on this defense, pay attention, especially in Dynasty, to Jordan Brooks and Darrell Taylor. There you go. So there's not a decent, John Reed had a couple decent years. Sorry, Josh, but I don't really think that LJ Collier is going to be a whole lot of anything right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But Darrell Taylor could be a nice sleeper, especially, nobody's really paying attention to him right now.
No.
He's going after Caleb Chason. He's going after Gross Matos. He's going after
Epinesa.
Absolutely. Even Okwara and some of the New England guys are going before him too. So, and then Jordan Brooks, I don't know. I've got mixed emotions on him right now. I've seen some great things, and then I've seen some questionable things as well. So, just put a pin in that.
Yeah, Darrell Taylor, 6'4", 267. He was their second-round pick. So they invested high draft capital out of Tennessee. Shout out to our boy JD.
JD loved him. He said he's a beast.
Yeah. So
All right.
We should have talked about Clowney, I guess.
He's not technically attached to the Seahawks. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if he was like still,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
on the squad, we could, but he's just
What a
floating
weird
out
world.
there, and who knows what's going to happen. So as we wrap up, Addy, you made a good point. I've done some recalculating here as we've gone through these teams. Let's give our final predictions, and I wish we had done this for every sode. Final predictions, and if you say 6-9, I'm going to literally punch you in your face.
No, I'm going to tell Boo Bam right now. Absolutely no Cody Barton love.
Yeah.
We do not talk about anyone who's named Cody on this podcast.
No Cody talk, Boo Bam. You know better. So let's give our final predictions here of finishes. Leezus, since you are our guest, we will go to you last to give you more time to think. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks at 12-4 as the best team in the division. I'm going to go with, I've swapped it. I'm risen them up just a little bit here. I'm going with the Cardinals at 9-7. So I'm going to give them another win. I'm going to go with the 49ers at 8-8, and I'm going to go with the Rams at 6-10. So Bobby, hit us with your final finishes here.
I'm going to go with the Cards at 11-5.
Ooh.
Then I'm going to come in with the
Don't you dare put those Rams
the
up there.
Seattle Seahawks.
That's right.
Are going to be at 9-7. The St. Louis Rams are then going to come in. I don't know. I think they're going to. I think their offense is going to be okay this year. Let's give us an 8-8 year, and then I'm going to fade the 49ers a little bit this year. I'm going to say 49ers 7-9. I'm going to say we get ahead of the 49ers.
All right, Addy, you're up.
All right, Cards 12-4, Seahawks 10-6.
Ooh. 2-10 team week.
Who's the other team?
Rams and
We just covered all of them. I'm not going to tell you.
Rams and 49ers.
49ers are going to be 9-7. The Rams are going to be 4-12.
Oh,
12.
just a dagger to both these guys' hearts. All right, Leezus,
Demolishing it.
hit us with your final finishes.
All right, so I've got Seahawks up top, 12-4. We've got the Cards next, but they're going 10-6. Niners coming in at 9-7, and then Rams 6-10. As much as it pains me to say it,
Yeah, watch the Rams go 12-4 and make the Super Bowl again.
I would
We're all
love
just-
that. Please, absolutely do that. Prove me wrong.
Look, Boobin's got some. I like Boobin right here.
Yeah, he's throwing. I told him give us his and I had to spell his name different because Periscope was filtering out Boo Bam. I think because it had boob in it. It was I put butt poopy earlier and it filtered that out too. So Boo Bam has San Francisco at 12-4, Seattle at 11-5, Cards 9-7, and Rams 6-10. So I think we all like the Rams to win about 4 to 6 games.
No.
Sorry, Bobby. What was yours?
They're 8-8.
8-8. Okay, sorry.
I should have went 7-9. Bumped it up.
So 8-8 was the worst in the division, right? That was they're still fourth though. You have them.
You had them ahead of the
I had
49ers.
them third. I had the 49ers.
Oh, what are they?
What did I say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
7-9 maybe.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I don't know. I think that's possible.
All right, we got another one from Danger Zone. Hawks 12-4, Cards 10-6, Rams and Niners at 8-8.
Ooh,
So,
Rams
that's not bad.
10-6. No. Okay.
Rams and Niners 8-8.
Sorry.
Mr. 6-9 here.
Hold on. We got Sean McVay is in here. Says Rams 12-4.
Oh, he's not even
Hey,
giving
shout
us-
out Sean.
he's
Didn't
not
know you were
even
listening,
giving us
man.
16
Wow,
wins.
nice.
It's like, yeah, we're going 17-0. We're going to play an extra game this season.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, Dr. Leezus, we appreciate you joining us. We kept it under 2 hours, guys. I thought we were going about 3 once Addy started spouting off his favorite sports cliches. But we did it. We kept it under 2 hours.
Hey, we dug deep.
I'm very proud of us. We've done a lot of episodes here recently. We're coming back with like a borderline megapod on Monday for this NFC
Yeah.
North preview.
A lot of guests.
So let's run down some of them because we'll give the listeners something to look forward to here. So for the Lions, we're going to have our boys from IDP guys, Nate and Sean, coming over to talk the team in Detroit. From Minnesota, we got our boys from Bless the Knees. Justin and Andy are going to be joining us. For the Bears, we got one of our favorites, Kyle Bellinelli, coming in to talk Bears. No, I'm sorry. Zach Maggs is going to be talking Bears.
Yes.
And Kyle Bellinelli is going to be talking Packers.
Wow, you almost did it there.
I almost stepped in it, confusing the Packers and the Bears fans. So, going to be a lot of fun. Leezus, what would you give us on a final finish for this episode? Where are we coming in at the season final?
What do you mean?
Where is this episode? Are we a 12-4 episode? Are we a 10-6
the
episode?
rank it. Okay. With all four of us here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 16-0, and that's
Heck
easy.
yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
That's the only answer that was the correct answer.
Love you,
That's,
ladies.
yeah. I,
That
don't
was
know, boys. I
lit.
appreciate you guys having me on. It's always a blast. Looking forward to starting up this injury podcast every Saturday. So it's definitely fun stuff coming up. Big tings, as we like to say around here.
Sure.
Big things. All right. Before we go, Leezus, where can people follow you on Twitter? Hit us with the new Twitter handle.
It's at Dr. Leezus, of course, DRLEEZUS.
Check it out. It's going to be dropping some nugs on us here before the season starts. So thank you all for listening. Thanks for tuning in on Periscope, on Twitch. We didn't get called the C word on Twitch, Adam,
Right,
so that
yeah.
was good.
That was our second comment on Twitch. So
Welcome to Twitch.
sure.
I guess it's a rite of passage over there.
Thanks to everyone for the comments tonight. We had a lot of people in the in our comments, participating with us. That was fun. Thanks, guys, for doing that.
A lot of
That
fun.
stuff.
And we'll see you guys on Monday. We will not be doing a live stream because we have all these different guests trickling in, but we will be back with a live stream for that Thursday preview episode the night the season kicks off. Look forward to that. And we will catch you guys next week. Dr. Leezus, we love you, baby.
Love you, bros.
We'll see you next time. Y'all take care.